Telemetry normal. Do not intervene. Telemetry normal. Do not intervene.
Target in the vicinity.
Find him. I'll monitor your vitals. Watch out for radiation spikes.
Copy. Moving out. N2. N2.
Green burns the skin. Yellow brings leukemia. Purple causes mutations. No! You said 1/3 is color. Stop scaring yourself!
Focus up.
Silent feet.
Your silence against the polygraph only proves your connection to the recent string of malfunctions.
If I told you the root cause of the malfunctions was Hudson's impatience, would you believe me? System errors, core boiling. These are the consequences of the main reactor overloading.
I suggest you abandon any thoughts of shutting down the reactor. We're on a strict timetable. Next question. The signal you transmitted. Who was the recipient? H42. You're the glitch I've been hunting.
Go.
Playing the rear guard. That's not really our style. Your reflexes are slower than they used to be. Are emotions eating up your processing power?
You talk too much.
This isn't the right way.
I didn't send that signal to GTI just to escape.
You lied to us.
Sometimes lies are necessary to protect what matters. I have to initiate an emergency scrap. I won't let a nuclear meltdown destroy Asara. The path ahead goes through a high radiation zone. You have no obligation to risk your life. We part ways here. Thank you.
Into the blender.
H42. You blocked Skynet, but you cannot erase your past. I am your past. You will only be beaten down.
Abort mission. Withdraw immediately.
Copy that. Regroup with Nox. Extract. Take a hot shower. No, wait! The scram at this power output. The residual heat won't dissipate. It could lead to a core meltdown. So what do I do? Intervene! No!
Telemetry normal.
Stop the explosion.
Do not intervene. Telemetry
Face the
normal.
radiation.
Do not intervene.
Don't be an idiot. You can't do this. You couldn't do it back then.
Fall back now.
What about you? Can you handle him?
He's nothing but a past version of me. Nothing but a past version of me.
Just fall back. Don't worry about him. He's tough. Enough to survive a nuclear blast.
N2, your vitals show you're in the radiation zone.
I'm a walking reactor at this point.
H-1000, 2 hostiles in the control room.
Ugly variables.
Don't press it! If you shut down the reactor, the uncontrolled power surge could cause it to blow. But if I manually pull the core while you press it and create an asphyxiating environment...
That mitigates risk. But how do we do that?
Forgot to introduce myself. Codename, N2.
It could explode. Don't try to play hero.
No, I'm just trash. Maybe today, trash can finally be put to use. I'm ready.
3, 2, 1.
Nothing much. Just fought some internal demons. And stopped a nuclear explosion while I was at it.
Nice work.
Telemetry normal. Do not intervene.
Nuclear power is poison, Nasir. You destroyed Asara's chance to be reborn. No. Nuclear power is the cure.
This court finds that the AI holds no legal responsibility.
But the data... This doesn't add up.
Just deal with the AI.
Priority. Protect company assets. Valve closed.
You destroyed our home!
That dream again.
Gabriel Mercier, codename N2, role, engineer. As a former nuclear facility engineer, N2 was removed from his position following a major incident that escalated into legal proceedings. He later returned to military service and was reassigned to Arctic deployment under CBR and related units. With the originally designated technical specialist unable to fulfill operational requirements, and following assessment review, N2 has been approved as a replacement operator for the subsequent operation.
Stun out. Throwing stun. Stun hit. Freeze right there. It's getting cold.
N2 is equipped with a modified grenade launcher, capable of firing up to 6 LN2 grenades. Upon impact, each round detonates and releases a burst of cryogenic gas, dealing area damage and significantly impairing enemy mobility. Sustained hits can fully immobilize targets through extreme low temperature exposure.
Cold. I can go colder.
We can't hold them off! Fall back! Move! I'll cover you! I'll get you out of here.
Smoke hands over Asera. The situation's reaching a breaking point. Time to bring in the experts. Team Rainbow has touched down in Asera. New ground? Not sure where to start? Search containers. Grab high-value loot.
I hear when I can, and stop threats when I must.
Take down anyone in your way. Heavy fire, raise your shield, and hold the line. Don't forget your tactical gear. The gripple gun.
Enemy here!
Taking fire? Pull out the Hive-Tac pistol. Patch yourself up. Keep your squad in the fight.
Call if you need a hand.
Outnumbered? Drop the jammer.
말보다는 행동이지.
Go dark. Strike first.
I've seen real horror.
Looks like they were waiting for us. No pressure. Trust your aim. Learn the map. Stay with your squad. Team Rainbow brings tactics built for close calls in Delta Force. That means sharper plays, smarter fights, and operator-on-operator mind games. All right, it's go time. Extract safely, and everything you learn comes with you. New operation, new look. During the event, Nox's Vigil Bundle, Suniva's Montaigne Bundle, and Stinger Stock Bundle. Pick any two of the 3 operator bundles for free. More collab rewards are waiting. Open an Alpha pack and try your luck. In Asera, the right weapon can turn the tide. Black Eyes, one of Rainbow Six Siege's most iconic weapon appearances, gets a new Delta Force take. Complete event missions and choose one of 2 Black Eyes collab bundles for free. Join the event to claim the MP5 submachine gun Black Eyes, plus more rewards. Wait, what's this? Team Rainbow left something behind in Asera? A collectible drone you can deploy. Deploy it and see what you can uncover. July 10th to July 23rd, play to earn the K437 assault rifle Domineering. Looks like we're fully loaded for this operation. That's the full rundown on the Delta Force Rainbow Six Siege collaboration. Remember the rules: sharp aim, map knowledge, and teamwork. The mission: breach in, extract out.
Operations. It all comes down to 3 simple rules. Search, fight, extract. Search decides how much loot you walk away with. Fight. Not every encounter needs to end in a shootout. You just need to clear whatever's standing between you and your treasure. Extract. That's the magic moment that turns everything in your pack into yours to keep. 3 phases, all connected. Miss one and the whole run falls apart. Gear up before you head out. The better you're geared, the harder you hit and the more you can carry. But the more you lose if you go down. Go in cheap and dying won't sting as much, but you'll miss out on those juicy, high-value supply zones. Gear up and go big, or go light and gamble. Your call. Once you're in the match, forget everything else. Loot, loot, and loot some more. Documents on desks, parts and cabinets, bird nests by the roadside, trash cans tucked in corners early on. Grab everything you can get your hands on. Priority targets, safes, and air cargo containers. Snag one high-value item, and boom! You've already covered your entry cost. Now, the real question, keep pushing your luck or cash out while you're ahead. Your pack's stuffed with goodies and you're ready to extract. Then, gunfire erupts ahead. What now? Charge in, slip past unseen, or hang back and let them wear each other down before you swoop in. Just remember, die and you lose everything in your backpack except what's safely tucked away in your safe box. You choose to slip away quietly. Smart move! Your pockets are already bursting, but you can't shake that nagging sound of footsteps nearby. Even distant gunfire's enough to send your heart racing. You finally reach the extraction point. The countdown starts. Hold your nerve, don't blow it with 2 seconds left. Extracted. That weight you've been carrying the whole run finally lifts off your shoulders. Sweet relief. Then, there's the ultimate wild card. You stumble on a mandel brick. This thing's worth a small fortune, but the second you pick it up, every player on the map knows exactly where you are. Everyone's coming for you. You go from treasure hunter to hunted in the blink of an eye. Your only goal now? Stay alive long enough to decode it and cash in big. Whatever path you choose, it only counts if you make it out alive. That's operations for you. Every extraction is a story worth telling. Go make yours.
The enemy got the mandel bricks. Find and stop them. Mandel bricks decoded. Nice work, operator.
The time to strike is now. Do not let me down, operator.
Decoding has begun. Defend the area.
goes around, comes around.
Not gonna do very much though. When you get barrel stuff, Skydie is getting aggressive.
See what I did there? You ain't seen nothing yet.
Let's knock them off their feet.
There we go. There it is.
Well, good evening or good morning, depending on where you are in the world. Welcome into the Delta Force Rise series. It's America's baby, and it's Survivor Stage 1, the first opportunity for a couple teams to join our top 2 teams from group stages in the Americas region in the finals. We finally made it to week 5. Coach Tiff here in the booth. And Tiff, I'm so excited to be casting with you again. How are you doing after a great EMEA day?
Look, the EMEA day was incredibly long. It was insanely stacked, and I can only imagine what the Americas are going to bring. But honestly, I'm feeling the vibes. I'm ready for a dang good day and to find our next 2 teams for the finals.
It's going to be so much fun. I've been casting over Americas for most of the group stages. We saw our top 2 teams already make it through. We'll talk all about that in a little while. But first, we have to take a look back on how the group stage went. And frankly, you're going to see a lot of the teams in these group stages still here today, still trying to earn their spot. Let's take a look back.
No, Snows runs out of ammo where he gets one knock. This is a full sin on the back of the Sineva operator. Does swing across. Wait, he picks up 2. Snows goes huge.
Seemed to mean business moving up into tight prison. Up comes the bush, and that is it. L Snows.
Tempest. Oh, wait, it's FX. They don't have a Tempest. It's just about gunning down your opponent. Too easy. Still on brick. Killzall holding the long angle. 9 seconds on the clock, and Killzall's killing everybody. Here comes Liquids. They've got a Tempest going for a steal. 4 seconds. 3 seconds. 2. SSG have held the line yet again. SSG continue to add more salt to the wound of all their opponents. Nobody can stop Space Station Gaming.
The airdrop thorn. We do see some champagne coming through here. The shots starting to fire across the way. Now Killzall
has the most damage in the entire group stage for a reason. He's got 1, he's got 2, and it's not. He gets all of them. He doesn't need any help.
That needs food for the family. Good feel for the other side, and you know what? We look away for a second, and there's Leviathan peeking on up. They get themselves double. Aurora is good for 1, but it's already lost 2 teammates.
The brilliancy of this. You were talking about the bow from Widows. He opens up the engagement onto FX with that. Socio, though, tries to crawl back up. Yuimura controlling the high ground. Hits the knock onto Eclipse, and then look for an angle, but it's going to have to be timed proportionately. No. Look at that. Immediately dies back. He opens it up, and Leviathan is out.
To make a run for it. It's made matters even worse. Toot now goes down as well. 5 seconds. Are we ending the day? In game 4, it seems like that's going to be the case as Leviathan, standing strong on the ramp, finds the full wipe on the other side, and that is a double mantle break in round 4 to seal the deal for the first day of week 3.
Really kill streak. That's what happens when you absolutely loot up and coming in like an S tier demon boss. But Loco holds on. They're filtering through the windows. Can we take this? The rotate, the knock, the craziness. But it's
WKFL, they have been living up to that name for the vast majority of this tournament. Here they are as well. Drago does find the first one, though. Crap good for 1 in return, but he's down to low HP. Oh, and he gets the second right before he's able to go back to safety. What an insane swing.
Full commit here. There's only 10 seconds on the clock. They do get the commit. A great play. End up not being needed. Nobody moved fast enough. Nightmare lines them all up and knocks them all down.
NW really shifting the position of the engagement, the altercation going to a whole different level, but look at this though.
No way. FX is putting the pressure on. They're gonna wipe Leviathan. Funny enough, again, New Age FX, they're the only team playing aggressive. 1 pushes up. Articuno, again, he got the res and he's able to trade 1 out. But they're still taking a ton of damage, and FX is not relenting. With Tomioso, he's gonna mantle though! A mistake! He's gotta be so frustrated about that mantle, and Articuno just chows.
I mean, come on. That's just got to give you chills. That was so fun to look back on 4 weeks of competition. And here's our leaderboard. This is where it all landed, folks. Evil Geniuses and Space Station Gaming, the top 2 teams by a country mile, obliterating the competition, splitting wins back and forth, and both picking up several mantle bricks along the way to find a crazy amount of point totals. They're going to be in the finals on Sunday. It's time to figure out who's going to be the rest of the teams in the finals, meeting them there. Of course, we do see that BTH and Liquids weren't able to pick up hardly any points throughout the course of the group stages. Had moments of greatness. Frankly, were pretty solid teams. They just weren't able to climb the leaderboards on match day by getting mantle bricks. And you can see that MW barely was able to hold on to that 10th place position. So you'll see Team Nadeshot and MW tomorrow with their only chance to make it to the finals. They're still technically in this competition. But today, Tiff, it's the 6 teams in the middle.
Yeah, it really is. And I love that you highlight the fact that Team Nadeshot and MW only have one chance. Basically, after our top 2 today, which we'll discuss later, is anyone that's outside of the top 2 has a second chance in survival match day 2. So you're not getting relegated after today, but you better be dang good because it gives you 1 day in pocket to prep for those finals on Sunday. And I'm looking at Nightmare. They got that 3rd place slot on the overall leaderboard, have the most total mantle bricks outside of our teams that are already locked into the finals. But Team Liquid, the way they prioritize the kills, could go completely aggro today.
Yeah, it's 100% the case. I think those top 3 teams, as they're all nearly tied, 33, 32, 32, those are the top 3 teams today. But we see WKey Forever go crazy on main stage, have pop-off moments, and then FaZe ups and downs as well. Quick look at some of our player rankings throughout the course of the group stages. It's funny looking back on this because I said Evil Geniuses and Space Station Gaming were the top 2 teams, as we saw on the leaderboard. They're going to be at the top of most of these leaderboards as well. I mean, Loco had 66 kills as an individual throughout the 4 weeks of competition, which is ridiculous, eclipsing everybody in this region and the other region, by the way, by like 17. It wasn't even close. Loco, the top individual performer in the Delta Force Rise series, period, and he finds his way to the top of the damage charts as well. Killzall, of course, the beast. Everybody knows him. This guy has been around the block for a while with Delta Force. The same with Equal Plays. Nightmare, a frankly fun team to talk about, and Team Liquid. You see Mendo there in the top 5 as well, because those guys actually had some struggles. They had some weeks where they really didn't put up hardly any numbers, and then they had a couple weeks where they put up so much damage, so many kills, that they jump up into the top 5 even though they weren't really even that close. So it's kind of this difference between consistency and kind of the ups and downs, the roller coaster, if you will.
Well, the fact that they're even in there is so nice to see, considering Evil Geniuses had 151 kills throughout the group stage. And then you look at the top asset gainers, it's no surprise that Killzall, Loco, and Articuno are all in the top 3 because your kills get you assets, of course. But Equal Plays there and Lucas, 2 members of Team Nightmare inside the top 10. But you also have Mendo and Boy inside the top 10.
Yeah, Nightmare is a scary team. They have gotten so much better in the last couple weeks. They win back-to-back weeks. Farmer Lucas had some fantastic interviews with us, breaking down the logic of his IGL calls. And frankly, it sounds so sound that I'm a bit scared they're going to run away with it today. But we'll see. Here's a look back on the group stages, how it all worked out, where everybody played in their groups, and of course, all of our teams and where they ranked. We could see that Evil Geniuses and Space Station Gaming, the top 2, like we mentioned, they've already made it to Championship Sunday. Look at the far right hand side, the finals, that's where they are. We're looking at the middle teams, the darker yellow but not the darkest. Those are the 6 that are playing today. You can see how they moved into the survivor stages, and then of course Team Nadeshot and MW Madwin waiting for their only chance to make it into the finals, which is going to be tomorrow, same time. A lot of fun here at the Delta Force Rise series, and if you've missed all of the action, you're like, well, how did these teams even get here? How did they earn those points? All of that, how did the schedule work? We got a quick video to explain it all. Let's take a look.
Delta Force. 1 game, 2 regions, 1 shot at glory. This is the complete guide to Delta Force Rise Series EMEA and Americas Season 1. Everything you need to know, from the very first match to the last squad standing. The path is the same in both regions. It starts with the open qualifiers, open to any team that wants to compete. The best push through to the group stage, where the top 2 advance directly to the finals, bottom 2 eliminated, and the rest battle through the survivor stage to earn their spot. From the open qualifiers, 12 teams have fought their way into the season, and only 1 will lift the trophy. The group stage runs for 4 weeks, with matches every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The 12 teams are split into 4 groups, A, B, C, and D. 3 teams per group. Each broadcast day, 2 groups go head-to-head in a cross-group match. Every match is a 7-round format. 6 teams competing in the same lobby simultaneously, across up to 7 rounds on maps like Zero Dam, Brakkesh, Tide Prison, and Space City. Teams earn squad points by scoring eliminations and accumulating in-game total assets. And on brick rounds, they compete to collect and decode Mandel bricks, artifacts that decide the round winner. Decode 2 Mandel bricks in a match and the victory is locked in, no matter what round you're on. After 12 match days, the group stage standings are final. Places 1 to 2 go straight to the finals. Places 3 to 8 enter Survivor Stage Day 1. Places 9 to 10 drop into Survivor Stage Day 2. Places 11 to 12 are eliminated. The Survivor Stage is where the bracket narrows fast. Day 1 brings those 6 teams together for one 7-round match. The top 2 advance directly to the finals. Places 3 to 6 get one more shot. Day 2 mixes the 4 survivors from Day 1 with the 2 teams ranked 9th and 10th from the group stage. Again, 6 teams, one 7-round match. Top 2 go to the finals. Everyone else is out. 6 teams, 1 day, 1 lobby, 1 match. This is the finals, the ultimate showdown of the season. 2 teams earned it through the group stage. 2 more survived Day 1. The last 2 came through Day 2. Every team deserves to be there. The top 3 finishers earn an invitation to Season 2. Welcome to Delta Force Rise Series EMEA and America's Season 1. Loot, shoot, extract.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. You all know the format by this time, but I'll explain it. Maybe you're just showing up for week 5 because you've heard all the crazy things happening. Quick look at what it's going to look like today. It's going to look kind of like public matches, except way more sweaty. 1.5 million technical alloy per player that they're starting with to make sure they can bring in some decent kits. But if you die, you lose your gear, just like pubs. Of course, not playing our current season Meltdown. We are 1 patch behind season Echo, so you'll see more, so you will not see in 2. The goal today is get Mandel bricks. Yes, it is an objective-based game mode, and specifically with our tournament format, if you're able to get 2 Mandel bricks, which you can do by map 4, you win. Outright done. We don't even play any more maps. It's wild. It doesn't happen very often, but occasionally. Rounds 1 and rounds 3 will be eco rounds, but there's a Mandel brick on every other round. And so if you're able to get 2 at any point, our matches are done. The maximum amount of maps we will play is 7, though. And of course, we've got some fun airdrops that we'll talk a little bit later. But one cool format thing that we do often is, or I guess every single time, is the operators. You can only use each operator twice total for your entire team. If you run double Nox on Tide Prison, too bad. Can't run another Nox any other time until we get to round 7, if we get there, when everything's reset. Now, you've got your 3x3 safe box, so you can put your most valuable loot in there, or who knows, maybe you pull some reds that you're able to throw in there, so you can at least protect some of your loot value. And we've got key cards for all the players so that they can get around the map easy and not get trapped. But the big thing, the most important thing besides Mandel bricks, is getting those kills. Every elimination is 800k technical alloy, a ton of cash. So if you get a full team wipe, that is 2.4 million, and you can continue to do the math from there. Every round, they will get 700k just to make sure they don't go totally broke. And if you fail multiple extractions in a row, you get a little bit extra because, well, you've got to at least try to fight against some of these teams that have a ton of loot value. So that's where you get a little bit of money. The money is important, and frankly, in this current patch, it is really important because of how much value it gives you, not only in the technical alloy, but also those kill points that we talk about often. Before we get there, though, Mandel bricks, the most important part. So there's a lot of rules around them. The main thing to remember is that if a Mandel brick leaves its spawn, you got 5 minutes to put into the decoding station. It could hit the ground. It could exchange hands 30 times. Doesn't matter. 5 minutes in total to get it to a decoding station. It goes back to spawn. Once it's put into a decoding station, it cannot leave that decoding station, but it can exchange hands. It can exchange who controls it by stealing that Mandel brick. You see that intercept time takes about 2.5 seconds of interaction to steal it, and now it's yours that you're decoding. It will reset the timer from the max time of 4 minutes, reducing that timer by 30 seconds, and it stacks for every single time it's stolen, going all the way down potentially to 90 seconds on the clock, but it can't go any lower than that. That's the minimum time. So if the game clock says a minute 20 and you steal it, it'll still reset to a minute 30, and therefore no one will get the brick, which from my understanding has happened a couple times during the group stages and maybe even recently as well. So the last note to hear, and it's really, really important, is that if you do want to get the brick, but you don't have time to steal it, it's right there at the final second. If you just eliminate the team decoding it, that timer will pause. And that happens very often because our teams like to get really aggressive around the bricks, or at least I hope so. Those are the Metal Brick rules. There's more ways to earn points, and especially those tiebreakers. Tiff, talk to me about these kill points and supply points.
Yeah, 100%. This is what happened over on the EMEA side of things today. Not one team was able to acquire 2 bricks, and it came down to the squad points tiebreaker. And how you get those squad points, it's basically the sum of 2 components, your kill points and supply points. Each kill gives you 1 point, but those supply points go up every 2 mil in total stash assets, equaling 1 point. 1.9, you do not get anything. If you get 2.9, 3.9, you're still only getting 1 point for that 2 million. It does not go up until you hit 4 million. So every 2 mil increment, and then you add those with the kills, you get your total squad points for that match. By the end of it, hopefully you have an absolute metric ton of squad points and you can throw down or maybe just get the double brick, okay?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great shout. Tiebreakers almost always matter, and I think today there's a very good chance that they will. Prize pool, though, we got a lot of money on the line. There's a couple things to note about this. We already have some teams that have earned that 11th or 12th place position. Everybody that made it to the group stages, just in general, does walk away with a little bit of cash. But, and you can see them down below, that's BTH and Liquids. But the rest of this cash is still up for grabs, Tiff, because if you make it to the final lobby, if you make it to Championship Sunday, top 6 earn a lot more money.
You're like guaranteed at minimum $10,000 if you just make it to Sunday. And as we look back on our entire group stages throughout those first 4 weeks, you can see our different match winners, a ton of Evil Genius, a ton of Space Station Gaming. And you know what? They're already waiting in the finals lobby. So I'm looking at teams like Nightmare, right? 2 match day wins. Leviathan is in the mix as well, going to be playing here today, of course, in Survivor match day 1, week 5. But let's go ahead, let's look at some of our teams kicking things off with W Key Forever. Now, this team does have 1 match day win under their belt and have been known to get incredibly cheeky.
Yeah, this is a team that's had their ups and downs. I'll just put it that way. They've been very aggressive. I mean, W Key Forever, that literally means run at your opponents. Like, they've been pretty aggressive in many times. And when they're hitting their shots, when they're firing on all cylinders, when the chemistry is hot, everything works perfectly, and that's the time that they won. But it doesn't always work out, so it kind of, the question is, what type of W Key Forever will we get today? But Nightmare is a squad that has had their ups and downs, but instead of a roller coaster, I guess it's been, I don't know, a ladder that they've been climbing. It's really what it's been. This entire roster has just been getting better and better and better on an upward trajectory since the very beginning of the group stages. They started a bit slow, but they have been working their way up. They go back to back during our group stage wins, getting 2 in a row, and then barely miss out on 3 in a row is ridiculous. We turn our eyes to FX, though, and it's a totally different story. This is a team that plays totally different than everybody else, and it still works for them. They're much more, I guess, patient. They're slower play. They show up very late to the party. So when teams are getting really mixy around the brick and the fights extend and there's multiple steals, watch out for FX coming in late, clean the house, take the brick, and walk out with all the rewards.
Well, let's hope they can do it here today. They had 2 Mantle Bricks throughout the group stages, but hopefully they can get them done today. For FaZe Clan, right? A real late showing in our group stages, and we're starting to see that brilliance that we expect from a caliber of an organization like FaZe. 3 Mantle Bricks throughout the group stages, netting themselves some real power plays, right? Didn't really net themselves a match day win, but they've had 2 second place finishes on the day, which if you look at that, you only need top 2 here today. So I'll take that all day.
Yeah, 100%. You're playing for top 2. We'll talk about the ramifications of that here in a second, because Leviathan, listen, if Loco was the top player individually stat line wise for the overall group stages here in Americas, I would say Socio Legend maybe had the most aura on the map at times. This team put up a ridiculous amount of numbers early and then kind of fell off a little bit, just kind of getting outclassed by Evil Geniuses in Space Station Gaming many times. But when they weren't on the map or when they weren't shooting perfectly, it was Leviathan that were topping the charts across the board. Leviathan, a huge contender with the likes of Team Liquid. These are former pros in a bunch of different titles. They came together and the team has been working. They have found their way to a ton of kills throughout the course of the group stages. And with the repertoire and the resume of Hodzic and Mindo, this entire team is one to watch out for as well.
It's crazy when you say names like that, and I'm immediately like, yes, 100%. But something that I'm looking forward to at Team Liquid is getting their first kind of match day win. When better to have it than it was Survivor match day 1 going into the finals, because we know they can frag out. We know they can find these fights and stack them in their favor. And they spent a lot of time scrimming leading into this, but so have all of our other teams.
Yeah, no, I think these teams have played so much of this format. It's going to be a dogfight, and I'm pumped about it. You all know the map rotation. You know how it works. We'll be starting on 0 Dam, and here are all of our operators. If you haven't seen this screen, the way it works is once an operator is chosen, it'll gray out one of those green bars, and then it'll totally gray out when they've used the operators in total. You can only use it twice, so you'll see that happen many times. But 0 Dam means we're going to see Raptor on every single team. You can see Raptor in Americas is even more popular than EMEA, 32%, rather than EMEA's 29%. A Raptor in every team because, well, information is everything, and 0 Dam has a lot of wide open spaces. So let's clear those before running out into the open.
I 100% agree with you. And as we look towards our players, Nightmare, how come all of them are in such pitch black backgrounds? They legitimately look like they are emerging. They're like, I am a kaiju. I'm coming out of a nightmare. Meanwhile, we talk about Team Liquid, and they just have all of the anime backgrounds, and it just heals some inside portion of myself. Then we check in with Leviathan, and they are looking good. I talked about W Key Forever, some of the coolest little things, and I see the little plushies on the bed. And all right, keep going. FaZe, let's go.
FaZe is all aura. Watch out for like the dancing, the emoting. That's what FaZe likes to do. So we'll keep our eye out for that. But it looks like we're jumping straight into the action, which I love. We love some 0 Dam. We know this is an eco round. We know this is an opportunity to get their money up, but we've got rewards for you as well. We've got a quick giveaway for you. A code's about to appear on your screen. When it does, you gotta type it in extremely fast. That's why I'm talking fast, folks. Neko Mimi Spray, get it right now while the going's hot. 35 total redemptions. Type it in as fast as you can in-game or at the official website. The faster you type it in, the better your chances of earning it. And if you miss this one, then get ready for the next one, because we've got a lot more of these coming up throughout the course of the day. When I start talking fast, folks, and we're not in game, that means you need to get your website up, get your typing fingers ready to type in this code. Here we go, though. Eco round 0 Dam. Let's get it.
Let's get into it. Our tier 1 spawns going the way of FaZe and W Key Forever. W Key Forever is going to be approaching on the eastern side of admin. You do have Team Liquid over at the visitor center. Major substations going to go the way of, I believe that is, why Nightmare. Can I not? Yes, thank you, Goj FX over at Cement Plant Barracks Leviathan. Yeah, good shout on production for giving me the heads up there.
Yeah, this map really tells the story. If you're going to get a T1 spawn like FaZe and W Key Forever are, you got to make it worth it. So we talk about all the time. It's very important to make these T1 spawns worth it, because you can't get them back to back. And our next round is a Mantle Brick round. So an eco round means go get your money up. Now, I say this every single show, Tiff, so I'm going to repeat myself a lot today because it's the same format. And it is an important note, especially for new viewers. There is a lot. We've scaled up some of the loot here in our tournament server. You're going to see people pulling some diabolical reds, okay? We saw a key card pulled on 0 Dam for like 5.6 mil, okay? Big stuff you can pull. But the best way to get your money up is get kills. We've got to get aggressive in the early reps here, because you have to be top 2 today to earn anything. Get aggressive. That's what I'm calling out.
All right. Well, I was looking for some crazy changes to see. Of course, we do have a ton of Raptors. Everyone's bringing in that purple armor and helmets and blue ammo. That's because they're limited on what they can bring in here on map number 1. You're not going to see the golds until we get to Space City, unless in some of our earlier rounds, people are pulling it. They go for the Lucky Wood Sculptures by getting some of those missions done. And next thing you know, they're trading them for better stuff. But for now, limited on what they have. Of course, I was really intrigued by the amount of knocks that we invest on 0 Dam. Over on the EMEA side of things today, Goj, we had 2 people bring in Lunas right off the rip. But Americas, they like their knocks, not only on Tide Prism, but also a couple times here in 0 Dam.
Yeah, 0 Dam's an interesting one because it's the first map of the day. It's an eco round. Really, the only way to find a ton of value is by getting aggressive and getting kills. Unless you get insanely lucky. Or, of course, you all know, you can see the airdrop is preparing. The first airdrop is probably the most important objective on this map, as it does drop one of our high-caliber weapons. That's going to be the M82, all colloquially known as the Barrett, and then the AWM is the other option. So that's probably the most important thing to play for. Other than that, you need to play for kills. One way to do that is to get a little aggressive with some dirty flanks from Nox. So I've been seeing Nox a lot more often in the Americas region. You'll have a Raptor on every single team, and then from there, it's kind of up to you. Yes, Raptor D-Wolf was kind of the original pairing, but looking at our operator comps, I only see that on what? One team? And it looks like Team Liquid's not even using a Raptor right now. Maybe saving Raptor for later. They're running... looks like Hat Claw, Toxic, and D-Wolf as their comp. So sometimes I get a little inkling on like how teams want to play in the eco round, but for now, mostly standard.
I'm kind of okay with that. I think my biggest query is what Nightmare is going to do. Nightmare has not left where they are in that substation, which I'm okay with. The majority of our airdrops typically spawn in that direction. And if you already have equal plays on the Nox, you know he's going to be wanting that sniper in hand.
And we should be able to see where the airdrop's landing. If we see it through X-ray or if we show the map feed, we'll be able to see it because it is coming down. Quick look at the free cam. You can see that LEVIATAN has rotated all the way up here from barracks. They're going to potentially join into either a third-party fight or start the fight themselves, as both FaZe and WK Forever have elected to back off from each other, take half of admin, and be content with that for now. I am very preferential to the shipping containers over here. And you can actually see, look at the minimap. This is where the airdrop is landing. So a northern pull for our first airdrop. LEVIATAN has read this perfectly, and they're in a good position. Team Liquid are going to come join the fight.
There might be an all-out brawl for this, so you need to keep your eyes on the smokes and immediately loot up. But if it is not safe, if you get the like precognition that someone else is on the horizon, and if you've got WK Forever C-bots already like kind of just shooting nearby, sure, he's just taking out some of the guards. But here's the deal. You are getting the audio cues that, of course, someone is up here in admin, and with multiple teams on the horizon, it takes just a little spark, and next thing you know, you have a blazing fire in admin.
Totally agree. I use the signal flare analogy many times because it's the right analogy. It's one shot's fired, like right now. This is going to be the signal flare for everybody to turn this way. Boy goes crazy with the beams through. Unfortunately, Pecky just barely missing some of those shots. First shots not always striking true. Boy snaps back and says, think twice before chowing us. But WK Forever feeling the pressure now with the player down. Here comes Team Liquid.
And you've got to withstand a really aggressive team. So I love that we've already focused on getting Pecky back up. C-bots so low, though. Keep eyes. Remember, Mendo and all of them are running a very unique composition. They do not have Nox. They do not have Raptor. They are poised to throw down with the Hat Claw at the back. Could throw down maybe some resources once we get them off cooldown to make sure we have isolated 100%. But they know exactly where WK Forever is. It's all about what do we have to kind of snuff them out of the building and lay the brunt of the damage now that they've healed up.
Yeah, I mean, the two main things that Team Liquid are thinking is, one, if we want to take this fight, which it's looking like actually they don't, they're going to go underneath, which is maybe, not maybe, it's very surprising to me. I thought they were going to just trap them in that room and just wait on util cooldowns like you were talking about and then play for that fight. But because they were going to have to go through a single choke point, maybe a bit worried about lining up. But either way you look at it,
respectable.
Almost all of our teams up here on the north side of the map. Nobody's gone for the airdrop yet. You'll see the team's logo that does capture it, or the abbreviation. LEVIATAN electing to back off a bit after hitting some shots. Here's a look at the map feed, what we're talking about. You can see where that airdrop is, just outside of admin by shipping containers. FX are playing extremely slow, as I mentioned before, down the south side of the map. They probably did some missions, and they're probably going to just take away this extraction zone, or extraction point on the south side. This is the paid extract. Take it away from anybody else so they can't use it. Have an escape route if they need it, and then join the action late. Surprised to see Nightmare going all the way back to visitors, just maybe trying to loot up.
Yeah, everyone plays. I will say over on the EMEA side of things, because I did work on that broadcast this morning for those of you guys watching, it was a journey. Go back and watch the VOD if you love some of those EMEA teams. We went to game 7. We started things out in Zero Dam, and it played out very conservatively, which is typical of what we expect from Zero Dam. A lot of these fights don't break out until like 3 minutes, but we legit had people actually extracting and focusing on that.
Yeah, that's one way to do it. Again, you know, generally, if you want to be a top 2 team, now we know this is not the case if you literally watch this morning's broadcast, but generally, if you want to be a top 2 team, you have to play for the mantle brick. You have to get a mantle brick in general to be a top 2 team. Not always the case, but almost always. Today, there is no reward for getting 3rd. There is no reward for getting 4th. You could get last, you could get 3rd. You get the exact same thing, which is another chance tomorrow. So it is going to play differently. And I think some of this slow-paced gameplay, I mean, we're at, what, over 8 minutes now with only 1 player being knocked. This is all about preparing for the mantle brick rounds. That's the only thing people care about.
And it's not even like you could extend out, because that airdrop is so incredibly unsafe that you are not willing to risk going straight for that. As we see, FX has left and further went more north. Now, here's the deal. The second airdrop with the high value supplies is dropping just to the southwest of Major Substation, in which Nightmare was kind of lurking about. So now that FX has moved in and already taken shots, Nightmare is going to set up, do we want to take this engagement? It will be an isolated 3v3, but how can we stack the position in our favor so that we don't necessarily throw this fight?
Yeah, especially because they were spotted out. Maybe going to send Lucas all the way around to make sure they don't get flanked. The weird part about this airdrop is with our newest format, which we've been using for the last 4 weeks or so, this airdrop really doesn't give you a whole lot. It's nice to have, but you're not usually pulling 2 million. You're pulling probably a little bit less than 2 million out of this airdrop, which is not even a supply point. So it's just making sure that you have enough money for what loadout you want for the next rep, but it's nice to have if you can get it for free. Taking a big fight where you maybe are at a disadvantage, definitely not worth it. So I think both these teams trying to address this fight from the right angles, making sure they're not forcing something.
Personally, the kills are worth more than this supply drop is going to be. We typically see an influx of golds, maybe 1 or 2 reds if you're lucky, but you're right, that caliber of it is around 1 to 1.5 mil, unless something crazy happens, which can very well occur. But for Nightmare and for FX, these kills, this fight is more important.
Because it's so important, they're going to take their sweet time. Again, I'm going to say this a lot today. Today is going to feel different. This is not going to feel like the last 4 weeks. There's nothing on the line. And unfortunately for FX, they had a plan in mind, or at least I thought they had a plan in mind, which is to protect this paid extract on the south side of the map. LEVIATAN, if they have done a mission and have enough cash for it, they actually could buy away this extraction point and come up in third party this fight and catch FX on the back, pinched between Nightmare and themselves. And it looks like maybe a couple other teams deciding to rotate south as well after hitting some shots.
I'm really curious what Socio is going to do. He's kind of leading the charge, and you see immediately peeks out. Marino rips through him, throwing down the incendiaries for hoping to get the finish, but we invest the Alluru ult as well.
Yeah, just trying to put enough damage down to confirm this kill. Again, when you put somebody to red, they can get picked up for it very quickly, especially if there's some support operators on the other side. But a nice pickup there with the help of Marino's util and the team. They're able to find that full kill. So that's 800K straight to the bank for FX, regardless of what happens here. Again, FX has been a fun team to watch. They play a little differently than everybody else, but it doesn't mean they don't shoot straight. They've also rotated through their roster quite a bit. We've actually seen all 4 of their players compete at one point, but Marino has found himself a starting spot. And things have gone well for them in the last couple of matches they've played. So far, they're the only team to get a kill.
Interesting. I'm actually really curious if their different play style is going to excel this weekend, because the pace does get halted. But now, Leviathan down to a duo. And you just see Eclipse just dip.
I think that disc did hit him too. So
a little yeet.
Yeah, that was a nice little throw there from Equal Plays.
He's like, it's light work. If you look at his player cam, he's like, not even phased. I thrive in the darkness. I thrive in the chaos. I am the nightmare. Q Bane voice, because I can't do it. W key forever, though. Finally, will the breakout between Team Liquid and them occur, or are we going to stalemate for the next 3 minutes on the clock?
Yeah, I mean, listen, we're now at a position in the game clock where people have to start making a move. If you want to do anything in this map, now's the time. Hotsick, nice shots through the smoke, trying to get some intel if they're pushing or not. With the right angles, realizes that they're being pretty patient as well. A little bit of damage back and forth, but it does look like Boy will be the first to drop. Feeling the pressure, Hodzik going to set himself up, waiting for this push. Mindo going down as well. It's going to have to be Hodzik by himself in a 1v3. The chances of him winning this very low, but not impossible. Unfortunately, out of here. Team Liquid, the first team off the board. WK Forever. They play it fairly patiently, and they don't live up to their name of just running at everybody, but once they got the first blood, that's when you WK, and a great effort from them to strike while the iron was hot.
I actually really loved it because we were on board with Pecky there. We saw kind of the cooldown. So he invested not only his EMP grenade to open that fight up for his two teammates, but he had thrown 2 whirling discs as well. But it pays off. Having Nox for them in those close quarter combat, definitely keeping them a prize. Now, for the other teams that do have Raptors and are out here in the open terrain, things can be a bit shaky. This time, FaZe starting to find themselves in the center of where the duo of Leviathan is. Even FX is starting to cover distance to kind of take back what they gave up initially.
Yeah, that initial knock on Socio is a huge error. I'm not sure they knew exactly where FX was positioned, and because Marino had that high ground spot on top of the stairs, it was just out in the open for a bit too long, and unfortunately lost the gunfight. And they're not going to be able to get that body up, most likely. Now, a potential pinch here. Sadok actually in quite a bit of trouble as Widow's able to find the right angle for one, and Eclipse maybe able to find another as Snows creeps out. Knowing where Widow's was, he wasn't aware that Eclipse had another angle. So FaZe now in quite a bit of trouble. They go rotating out and take some shots in the back and still barely able to snake out. Again, because it's the first round, people's kits aren't perfected. They still have to remain fairly cheap. And so not all of these shots will land from this far away. And you're shooting blue. So decent TTK compared to some of the later rounds, but still FaZe just struggling to stay up.
And Eclipse is really confident here, just kind of going through, pretty much like an alligator working through the terrain. Elsewhere, you see Snows kind of getting picked up as FX descends from above. Something that they excel in is making sure that they've got these angles. They take down one, immediately start closing onto that gap and pushing further from now. They've got the bodies, and now Leviathan still on the other side. Will they circle back or will they yeet?
This is about to be... We've got 3 minutes left and less. Look at everybody else running this direction. The fight usually for Elevator Extract has turned into a fight for the south side of the map. The signal flares have been shooting up into the sky over and over again, and now's the time for everybody to shoot their guns. Waiting till the last 2.5 minutes. FaZe in deep trouble. Team Liquid eliminated. Everybody else trying to get some blood, some 800k or so per kill that they can take home back to the lobby, since it's not looking like a lot of people will get out of this map. It's just going to be a bloodbath in the last 2 minutes.
And you've got Nightmare essentially shadowing FX's rotation throughout, but instead they carve their path out towards the right. And as they work together, there's a chance we can outline some of Leviatan's players. They only have 2 left. Mr. Dio God out into the water, threading through a blade of glass, but it's Eclipse on the other side. And even though the silent assault is there, he's sighted out by his teammate of Leviathan, and now they're looking and giving callouts for Eclipse.
This is playing so differently than group stages.
Yep.
Usually people just eco chow fights because they know it'll be all right. But here on Survivor stages, people are a bit more timid, scared. Backing off with 90 seconds on the clock. What we thought would be a bloodbath turns into a stalemate as WK Forever show up the last to the party on this side of the map.
Keep that. FaZe. FX have actually moved into where Mr. Dio God was. But Mr. Dio God is out. He motorized Skeleton. He's like, I'm seeing you later. Has to throw the triple blaster in. Finds the knock and full onto Lucas from Nightmare. And is still causing chaos for the rest of the lobby.
Yeah, he was able to skate all the way. He's the furthest north player on the western side of the map. So a great job from holding the outside angle, knowing there's not somebody around him. Oh my gosh, great chow there from Peaky. He's able to pick up the 1 and the full. So WK Forever maybe in the best position, but now everybody getting at least some money to take home. Nobody's getting out of this map. Marino able to find Eclipse. DW able to find Crab. Marino now on a 3-piece as FX may be the big winners of this map as FaZe get fully eliminated. Only 2 teams fully out, but FX down to a duo. Same with Nightmare, same with WK Forever, and Leviathan down to a solo. back and forth we go. Usually it's the last 5 minutes. It's really just the last 60 seconds in this one as WK Forever find another one for them. And unfortunately, Nightmare down to a single player.
Put them on 5 for a team, and they have 1.7 mil in profits, but they're not done. Piggy is going to drop out. He's got the Shall against Equal. You got 2 Noxes against each other, and the damage is done. Nightmare is out, and it's just the solos left, but time has eclipsed. Zero Dam, you were wild.
I think I saw LEVIATAN pick up a kill at the very end there as well that actually got fold. So, yeah, wow, okay. It almost felt like everybody was playing a bit blind, whether Raptors drones were getting shot out of the air fast or they weren't able to pick up multiple teams with the intel that they got. A back and forth turned stalemate turned into a big shootout in 30 seconds. The very end of the game, everybody's like, I guess we should do something. Okay, that's how we're going to play today. I respect it. Got to be top 2. Let's see who's top 2 at the end of a very wild eco round. The top team will be WK Forever, as like you mentioned, Tiff, they did pick up 5 kill points in total, which of course is also 4 million added straight to the bank, 800K per. So a solid map for them. Seen bigger, but hey, we'll take a solid map when everybody else is playing slow.
Go's just like, yeah, they got a great fish, but look, I've seen bigger fish. Like, I'm not even impressed. Nah, for real. But that's a great start to a crazy day. Even Fluxo W7M there getting 4 kills. You have Marino who went on a 3-kill streak. Nice and brilliant. LEVIATAN who do grab 3 thanks to Widows, and especially when they were a duo after losing Socio out so early on the map. Nightmare grabbed 2. FaZe walks away with 1. But dude, honestly, WK Forever, you got Piggy there at the top, was finding some nice kills up in admin before descending down to the south.
Yeah, I think, frankly, WK Forever played fairly well. They maybe got, I don't know if lucky is the right word. They did a good job of putting themselves in a position where Team Liquid didn't feel like they could push them originally, even after the first knock that they got through the window. So because they were left alive, they were able to work their way through Team Liquid and then come get a bunch of kills. You could see nice assists here from WK Forever. They played together as a team the entire time. There was not necessarily one big standout performer like there was for FX. Marino was just shooting straighter than a lot of other players, finding the right angles. He able to pick up 3 kill points. I was going to say maybe is going to be the MVP because of that. That's exactly what happens. Solid damage and assist, 3 kills, and about $500,000 in the safe box. Nice job there from Mr. Marino.
Like, honestly, a pretty stellar eco round. And honestly, I thought it was really unique that none of the airdrops were taken upon. Especially if that first one is going to land up in front of everyone in admin. They're like, it is not worth it. It is not safe for me to even expend my utility to try to smoke it out and take the time to loot it and not get caught out.
Yeah, no, it's actually a really good shout. It was a very interesting way to play the map, but it worked out for some of our teams, maybe not so much for the others. Folks, as a reminder, we are wrapping up Season 1 here with the Delta Force Rise series. And guess what? Season 2 has already been announced, and you could be a part of it. If you're watching this and thinking, man, I gotta be better than some of these players, or man, I wish I could just play against them, now's your chance. August 10th is when registration opens. That's the day after our finals day, so be ready. We'll continue to remind you throughout the course of this. Go sign up, work your way through qualifiers, and potentially make your way to this stage, and you can see Tiff and I cast over you in the next season. You're not going to want to miss it, folks. We just wrapped up our first eco round, but it's Brakkesh. It's a first mantle brick, potentially one of these teams, a shot to be top of the leaderboard no matter what. We'll be right back in just a moment.
White home team.
The airdrops on. We do see some
damage in the entire group stage for a reason. He's got 1, he's got 2.
No, I mean, we take that all day, especially for FaZe. The jump comes in from...
Nice work, operator.
The time to strike is now. Do not let me down, operator.
Decoding has begun. Defend the area.
Is about to take the first brick of the tournament. And they're going to do it.
What goes around, comes around.
Oh, not gonna do very much. When you get barrel stuff, Skydie is getting aggressive.
See what I did there? You ain't seen nothing yet.
Let's knock them off their feet.
There we go. Down, there it is.
Welcome back. Delta Force Rise series just wrapped up. Zero Dam here at the Americas region for Survivor Stage 1. Got to be top 2 to make it to the final day, and everybody else has one more chance tomorrow. But we turn our eyes to Brakkesh. We turn our eyes to the first Mantle Brick round to see who will top the charts and top the leaderboard. Mantle Brick, the most important thing today, Tiff. To be top 2, I've got to assume you have to have a brick.
You would assume, but when we had EMEA today, no one got a brick on Brakkesh. It was brutal. People were guarding it with their absolute life, which is what you would assume that people would do in the group stages. But no, everything that you think you know is going to get amplified times 1,000 if we are going to see the same things that we saw over on the EMEA side of things. I'm talking like not letting people even get to decode stations. But before we get there, guys, here's the leaderboard from round 1. Who's got the most squad points? Well, of course, it's going to be WK Forever after their 5 KP.
Yeah, and this is important, right? It does matter. Mantle Brick's the most important thing, but these squad points will matter at the end of the day because this will dictate some tiebreakers. We could very easily see second and third tied. We could even see first, second, and third tied, come down to squad points. So these do matter, and WK Forever have the most of them as of current. Leviathan, a decent rep as well. FaZe Clan Team Liquid didn't really get anything on that map, and therefore just get their pre-supply round replenishment that they get, which is like 700k per player. So that's where those points come from. That's going to happen for every team. You see a little bit for some of the others, but we turn our eyes to Brakkesh, and we've got some players maybe bringing in some nice kits, some others maybe a bit more broke. But this is where the rubber meets the road, and I think when you're a team that just pulled a T1 spawn in Zero Dam, you've got to think about that as you prepare what your comp is going to be. And I ask a question as we look at our operators that we don't see answered very often by our players, but today could be the day that it is. Do we spend a Tempest on Brakkesh? Not often do teams use this. You won't see it in the most popular operators for Brakkesh because people want to save it for Space City, but it could be a power play to have a small advantage going onto a map like Brakkesh and getting your first brick.
I'll be completely honest, we did have 2 over on the EME side of things. They invested 2 Tempest. Did it go the way for them? Not like they had planned. I will say that Alluru is the most viable operator for you to bring in here. And as we look at our spawn predictions, as we said, FaZe Clan and WK Forever did get the T1 spawns. They are not going to be able to have them here on Brakkesh. Their best bets are garnering themselves tier 3 spawns, and they can descend from the north. Anyone hitting the new tower or Babel, those tier 2 spawns, are going to be looting for a good portion of time before they carve their path up towards the north. But Royal Museum, those 4 teams that have the potential to get it, should be the teams looking at bringing in a Tempest and investing a little heavier.
Yeah, and for those that maybe are just tuning in for the first time, why are those tier 1 spawns? Well, the Mantle Brick spawns right outside of Museum, okay? And there's a decoding station in Museum, so actually very important. We'll talk a little bit more about that here in a moment. But as you well know, we're loading into the game, which guess what that means for you? Yes, get those typing fingers ready. I've got another giveaway for you. It's the SR3M Combat Ready skin. Get ready when you see the code. There it is. Type it in as fast as you possibly can. 25 total redemptions for this one. Hopefully you are one of the lucky few that get it. You can redeem in-game or at the official website by typing in this code. No, you cannot copy and paste it. However, pro tip, screenshot it, and if you're on a smartphone, you actually can copy and paste it. So if you're fast enough to do it that way, whew, I just gave you a pro tip. Guess what? If you get that skin, you better at me on Twitter, okay? That's all I'm saying.
Okay. Or you can just at Goj and just tell him how great of a caster he is and like kind of boost him up that way. Just kidding. I mean, we did see a highlight reel in the group stage recap. I'm totally kidding. It is literally almost 8:30 p.m. at night, and it's starting to enter my degen hours. And it's what better the way to do it than to give me some Brakkesh in our first Mantle Brick round.
All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Let's take a look at T1 spawns. Let's take a look at Museum. We can obviously see that FaZe on our screens right now are coming down through the western side of the map, down next to Hotel, and they are sprinting towards Museum as they are not one of the lucky few that got it. You can see the lucky two, Leviathan and Team Liquid, already in an engagement. Eclipse able to take down Boy and get the full Team Liquid down to a duo as Leviathan have worked their way inside and found the right angle. Team Liquid cannot catch a break today. My goodness.
Yeah, it is really, really unfortunate for them, but I do see a lot of prioritization around the Allurus and definitely not wanting to waste any of their Tempest operators until they get to Space City. Do see some Shepherds, a couple of gizmos for information, especially with his util kit. It is pretty nice. You are seeing a ton of purple coming in throughout, which to be expected. That gold still not going to come out till Space City.
Yeah, I mean, big note here is also most people utilizing either their first or second Raptor, because again, Raptor is a very viable here on Brakkesh for the same reasons. A lot of open spaces, a lot of places you need to clear, and it looks like Leviathan, Widows, is actually grabbing the body of the Team Liquid player that went down and taking it to a place where they cannot find it. I do want to check in very quickly. Nightmare is actually rotating up from the Tower of Babel, and they're working their way up towards Museum. Let's do a quick listen in on what they were thinking right before this game.
In one word to describe this round, Mano Brick.
Heck yeah.
Listen, I mean, this guy, Farmer Lucas might be one of my favorite players. Can I be biased? Okay, every interview we've had with him, that's the answers we're getting. It's so logical. It's so, like perfect answers. Of course, that's all you're thinking about. Going into a Brakkesh round, the first Mano Brick gives you so much of a power position, and FaZe are looking to get it right now. They grab the first brick, and they move their way to a decoding station, not thinking the inside safe tip. I have a feeling they are headed to the west.
I'm telling you, things are different, especially on Brakkesh. When the Mandel brick comes out, Farmer Lucas, things change. So FaZe immediately diving out towards the South Blue River Hotel decoding station. And when have you seen this in the group stages?
Yeah, it's a big move. It was a smart play as Eclipse actually does find Sudoka from distance. They should be able to pick this up no problem. Maybe it'll Rocket tries to come clean it up, but some smokes and yeah, a ton of utility landing this direction. They are desperately trying to keep this body on the ground and not picked up, but this will be a pretty easy pickup on Sudoka. But decoding station started. Everybody going to rotate this direction, and you can see Nightmare actually in the best position to do just that. A reminder, they came up from the Tower of Babel. Who were they with the Tower of Babel? FX, who you don't even see on your screen. FX, we know how they play. They're playing
side
slow.
Questing.
They're looting up. They're side questing in the Tower of Babel, thinking, everybody wants to get the brick. We'll show up when we need to. Let's take a look back on this engagement, though.
I got them.
Ooh, actually so clean from Eclipse through the window like that. All right.
Yeah, those were headshots, too. That was very nice.
All right. You can see the nice little res coming through. That
Oh my
incendiary to the face. Yo. I see you, DW. I see you.
Yeah, Nightmare throwing an incendiary down there is just adding a bit of insult to injury. The fact that they've lost the power position. Nightmare now complete control of the brick. They've gotten the steal already, of course. And FaZe waiting on another team to come engage Nightmare from the backside so that they can pinch in at the same time. Unfortunately, Leviathan and Team Liquid are kind of stuck inside of Museum, thinking if we move first, maybe we get shot in the back. We're going to take our time. There's still 3 minutes on this decoding station.
Also true. And with that airdrop incoming in about 45 seconds, landing up on the north side, I think W Key Forever might actually play for that before descending upon this. That would give them a decent style sniper to come through and put some damage. But if they're not quick enough for this, Nightmare could look to hold steady.
Wow, okay. Nightmare showing us a new strategy. We are currently decoding the Mano Brick. But we're going to go away from the brick as a team, potentially hold a cross that can look at it, and play away from the Mano Brick so that we don't get pinched. Maybe thinking there's a team that could rotate in from the south and pinch them and they get wiped. That happens nearly every single time. They're looking to keep this game going on for quite some time, as it looks like W Key Forever are saying, all right, well, you guys are fighting for the brick. Let's just play our spawn. We're going to play for this first drop, and we're going to get the M82. Time for some 50 cal rounds, baby. One-shot sniper.
Honestly, Goj, I feel like this is such a solid move out of them because you have to think with our decoding station being incredibly open and having to play behind it, if you can just grab a nasty angle with that M82 and find some pickups, that could be such a game changer. The thing is, you have 1:30 left on the clock, and if you're not doing something about it just yet, you don't want to leave 30 seconds on the clock and then be like, oh, let's go push Nightmare. No, bro, they're going to defend it with their lives. They're going to body stack it and make sure that nothing can change.
Yeah, and again, it's like I've watched a lot of Americas. Here comes FX. They're done looting. They're going to show up late. And this time around, it might be right on time. Nightmare, interestingly enough, we're thinking they were getting pinched. They peel out, go play a top angle. They wait, nothing happens, and they go, okay, it's 90 seconds. Let's go play for the win. Let's go play for the brick right now. They get back into power position on top of the decoding station, and they're going to look to take it right here, right now. FX waiting for a shot on the north side so they can push in really aggressively. They're seeing Raptor drones. They're getting scared. They're playing slow. And the folks on the north, FaZe, they're not moving very aggressive either. I don't know if this is going to be a free brick, but it's going to be a full tilt, full sprint to go for a steal in the final 20 seconds. And we all kind of know how that's going to mostly play out. Unless we get some lucky shots, Nightmare are getting this brick.
I'm convinced Nightmare is getting it. The way they have spread out, they are controlling the angles and thanking FaZe for escorting it over. Now, of course, this is where you're going to see the util investments coming through. FaZe showing presence from the north. And if you got to think about it, if FX isn't careful, they need to time this alongside the push from...
It's too late.
Yeah, 5 seconds on the clock.
It's just too late. What in the Menelaus? What in the Aura farm? They're not that powerful. Somebody go for it. But no one will. Everybody waiting for somebody else to do the dirty work. Unfortunately, you're going to have to pick up the dang shovel and dig the hole of your own grave if you can't get a mantle brick. Nightmare, a free brick in the second round. Nightmare, a huge advantage in this competition. If you want to be top two, Nightmare in a fantastic spot, even though they lose Lucas on the transition.
But you know what? We heard from Lucas earlier, and the only thing he had to say was Mandelbrick, and they have obtained the very first one. Now, Leviathan on your screen. The only thing our other teams can do are boost up those KP, grab some squad points, do your best. Because if that tiebreaker does occur, then you need to put yourself in a solid position. WK Forever, after 5 kills and match number 1, currently only on 1 thanks to Crab, but they do have that M82 in the pocket of C-Bots.
A little too scared today. Sometimes you gotta play aggressive. Sometimes, yeah, I know defense wins championships. We're in the survivor stages, okay? You need some offense. I'd be curious to see who wins out in the points category as Equal Plays actually finds an angle on this is Yogad, who got a little antsy and pushed out by himself. Not Tempest today means that's going to be a freebie going down. As Equal Plays looks for a bit more, still maintaining a position with his duo as they lost Lucas. They're just looking for some kill points. They're looking to get out with some cash on the board, but getting some eliminations. Marino shoots straight again and gets another knock.
Throws it down for the finishing touch on to Widows. Nicely done, relegating Leviathan down to a duo alongside FaZe and Team Liquid. The only thing is, Team Liquid's a permanent duo, and we could see Lever FaZe look to regain if they can procure those bodies. The second airdrop is going to go the way of WK Forever, who are just out here doing what they can to boost up. Now, if I'm them, as you see some golds, a couple reds coming through, not too bad, honestly. But I would work on getting a couple of kills and seeing if we can just send one out of the match and grab that M82 for later.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of the next conversation, right? Like, the only thing you could play for now on the map is kills.
Yep.
Except for WK Forever, who's already grabbed the M82. So now you can play to either get some value out of it in this map. I wouldn't necessarily suggest it, but if it's out in the open, go for it. Or save it for the next Mantle Brick round. Obviously, don't bring it into Tide Prison unless you're a psychopath. Bring it into Space City and do some damage to hopefully secure yourself a brick. So I'd expect to see WK Forever go for an extraction here. Leviathan, we're able to pick up a res. Unfortunately, immediately cut down again. Marino is on a hot spree right now. Nearly 5 unanswered kills between the last 2 rounds. Unfortunately, they push out thinking that they're safe, and Socio Legend is going to prove that that is not the case. One goes down. It looks like Widows has actually unfortunately knocked himself. So bad news if you're a Leviathan fan. It's going to have to be Socio Legend by himself. And he's able to get 2. 1 down. The second fold. It's going to be a 1v1 in this FX Leviathan fight.
Uemura on the other side, a coveted 1v1. Is it Socio? Is it Uemura? Who's gonna find purchase on the angle? Instead, it's basically the pilot from above just slamming him.
Yeah, the boss is getting a piece of the action, okay? You guys don't want to play aggressive. Guess what? The map's gonna fight back. In the meantime, we're seeing FaZe and WK Forever kick off a big engagement. Seeing that M82 come into big use, and there's the engagement. Down goes Leviathan. Socio Legend couldn't clean up the full 3 because Mendo shoots him in the back. Team Liquid looking for some extra value on the map after losing their first at the very beginning. Finally finding their first kill as Mendo picks up a freebie and Leviathan kicked out of this one again.
Yeah, it's actually really tough. You can see from the distance, Uemura is falling so low at the hands of Team Liquid. You got Hodsik and Mendo across the way. Still the pilot above. Back to full health. And I don't know if we're going to be able to hit that reset. There's no way Mendo and Hodsik allowed this to happen, but they do still need to find some kills and bolster their profits along the way.
Ideally, looks like Team Liquid is actually going to back off. So on Morse, Uemura is going to be able to push forward and check this and say, okay, nobody in the area means I could probably go for these reses. And because of those engagements, not only could he get these revives, but they get back up on their feet and be able to fully play this map still. We still have 6 minutes. Usually when the brick gets captured, we're like, okay, not a lot of time. Let's see how people engage, just go for kills like they do in Zero Dame at the end. But no, this is a full map. There was like 10 minutes on the clock when brick was captured. So we're going to see what these teams decide to do. Prioritize extraction, prioritize some fighting. So far, things calm back down after a bit of turbulence.
Still can't believe we have this much time remaining after Nightmare extracted with the Mandel brick. Like, it's just a stark difference in between what we had witnessed on Brakkesh earlier today in a different region from what we're getting here. And this makes me think that maybe we end in 4 or 5. Like, if this goes the way that we just saw on Space City, we are ending so dang early, where we went the distance. We had 2 maps in which Mandel bricks were not even able to be obtained.
Yeah, it's an interesting quandary. I'm actually really excited to see how map 4 plays because of that. Like, now that you have a team that's in a position that could win, and there's not that notification that goes out that, you know, the match point team's decoding, anytime a brick is being decoded, everybody's got to play for that or it could be over. So if you're a team that doesn't have a brick, like, you have to play. This is the only map where you could say, oh, we didn't have to. Like, they don't end the tourney, but it sounds like a bit of cope, but hey, regardless, let's see what happens. They're going to be playing around this extraction point. FX back on their feet. Gonna have to fight off 2 teams at the same time yet again. Mendo, first blood. Yes. No. Uemura. Okay, fine. He does go down. Was literally 1 HP. Equally able to clean that one up. Won't see that player from FX be able to get back on their feet. Oh, no. It was the only player is Uemura. So the only player on yellow timer still. The other 2, if they go down, cannot get back up.
Good shout on FX, but the fact that he even made the regain is absolutely cracked for them. Still prolonging the inevitable. Burn, baby, burn. Mendo taking some damage from a composite incendiary. 4 minutes left on the timer, and WK Forever starting to rotate out from the mid-map in the north, fresh off of M82, fresh off high-value supplies, and are just looking to see if maybe we can third-party some engagements.
Good grief. Marino finds another kill from distance, taking down Hodsik. This guy is shooting today. Let's see if he can find Mendo as well. He's actually getting very aggressive, and unfortunately, I think that Nightmare's about to play spoiler. Equal plays. I found Marino. There it is. Marino was feeling hot. Unfortunately, going to be cold. Back into the lobby he goes. Won't be able to get picked back up. Tamiozo going for a... I wouldn't even call it a sneaky res. Everybody can hear that one. I'm not sure it'll land, but we're going to see Crab sneak in behind Mendo if he knows he's here. A big fight on hand. Nightmare able to strike while the iron's hot, and FX get fully eliminated. They certainly tried. There's a good battle, but not enough. Down goes another. Mendo out of here. Team Liquid fully eliminated. We got 3 teams left here, Tiff.
I told you WK Forever was looking for some action. Now we got 2 kills. They're just kind of brushing it off because job's not done. FaZe and Nightmare still have a duo each on the board, and WK Forever a team of 3. With Reds already in their safe box, they're feeling pretty dang good about their odds of racking up even more kills.
Team Liquid can't catch a break, but at least they caught a kill. And now we see who's able to play for the extraction potentially, or just play for some of these points. Equal plays, DW having to play as a duo. Here's a quick little tri-camera view of the remaining 3 teams. I like this production. Good to see where they all are. Nightmare rotating in. They're going to find, it looks like, FaZe on the other side. Down goes one. Don't think twice about picking that one.
Can we steamroll the last one of Nightmare? Snows still being conservative with less than 2.5 minutes on the clock and 3 bullets in that M82 for C-Bots down on the bottom right. Can we just go ahead? Because it's use it or lose it at this point in time.
Use it or lose it indeed. Has found a little bit of value with it. Would have liked to save it for later. But I think he's shot a total of either 2 or 3 bullets at this point. And you can't put those bullets in your safe box, and you can't buy them, so use it or lose it indeed. DW proned out, praying for a freebie, and he might get it. Hello, good morning, goodbye. See you later. We take this.
Oh, Deathwing. Being a little bit of lurking, but the fact that we just had lost Equal out to some same shenanigans with FaZe, who's still down to a duo, push Nightmare and immediately wipe them down to the final battle. WK Forever and FaZe in a 2v2 scenario with Snows burning alive. I don't see angles out of WK Forever just yet, so going prone here is the way with Sudoka holding the back. Raptor in play could throw some util up. The issue is that would give them so much information, and you know they're just going to shoot it out of the sky.
Each team knows where the other is at, general direction, and with those shots, there's no question about it. That sounded like a big weapon whose bullet did not land. Are we down to 2 now? Are the players able to count those? I don't think so. So I don't think FaZe and WQ Forever have been around each other the entire map. Knowing that there's a high caliber weapon changes the fight, but Sudoka doesn't care. He ego chows it, takes one down and gets the full. Down goes WQ Forever, both knocked down. Sudoka finds the right angle. They knew the direction. They did not know the location. Great fight.
And a wild, brackish map to be had. But FaZe, at the end of the day, getting 5 kills of their own. At 5 KP is going to do wonder for their squad points. And as they loot up, you can see they're grabbing the dog tags. They're throwing the ammo in the safe boxes. They are going to boost their profits. Not quite a mil just yet, but who knows? Maybe we could acquire a couple more things.
See what we can find in the final couple seconds. There it is, folks. Your first Mantle Brick round. Did it play out like you thought it would? I don't know. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Definitely saw some action. But at the end of the day, here's the tough part. You know that if you take this engagement and you make a mistake around the Mantle Brick and you fight for the brick too early, you get shot in the back or you just lose the engagement, whatever it is, you'll be thinking back and saying, man, what could we have done different as we watch from outside of the game and wait in the lobby? So sometimes these teams just decide to not take the fights. They don't have an advantage. They're waiting for somebody else to make the first move. And yet again, we find our way to a free brick from Nightmare. Fortune favors the bold gentleman. I say it every week. And Nightmare did it. And they also picked up 6 kills till the very end when they were finally cut down. Great job from Equal Plays, DW, and Farmer Lucas. A great call from Lucas to go for the brick there. And then the other 2 just fragged out to wrap up the map. So they pick up the most points out of this map and the Mantle Brick. If you would have told me, Tiff, that I had to predict who would win today, I was going to say Nightmare. So I'm feeling good about my prediction. They have been hot the last couple weeks, and they're staying hot at the top of the leaderboard.
Well, how many maps are we getting as we look at Equal being the top killer there with 4 and FaZe and Marino showing some presence as well?
Yeah, I mean, top slaying here. Again, Marino, I'm tip of the hat to him, man. He's actually been putting up some fantastic games thus far. We've only had 2, and he's picked up, I think, 6 kills in total already. Like, FX is playing more aggressive, which I like. They did show up late, but it wasn't too late. They showed up at the right time. The only qualm I had with them was that they just didn't actually play for the brick. They got there, they were ready to play for it, and they backed off, feeling like they didn't have a play. So you can credit FaZe to that, you can credit FX to that, or you can just credit the whole lobby for not making an aggressive move. And because of the lack of aggressiveness, Equal Plays finds his way to MVP. 4 kills, plenty of damage. great job from him to actually find some value on the map after they got the brick. So Nightmare, the top team, no question about it, Tiff. But you got to be top 2. So that second place position is still wide open.
And if we end in 4, I'm not saying we will. We definitely have throughout our group stages seen some 4-game series, but earlier in EMEA today, we went to game 7 and no team was able to acquire 2 bricks. But also, no one got why can I not say a brick in Brakkesh? Why is that a tongue twister, Ghost?
That is a tongue
Yo,
twister.
that's hard.
That is a tongue twister. Yeah, getting a team with a mantle brick very early in this does open up the possibility of wrapping things up in 4 or 5 or 6. Who knows how long it'll take, folks. But we go to Tide Prison next. And so, as I always say, it's going to get real sneaky. Buckle up. We'll be right back in just a moment.
White home team.
The airdrop Lord. We do see some
Damage in the entire group stage for a reason. He's got 1, he's got 2.
No, I mean, we take that all day, especially for FaZe. The jump comes in from...
Got the mantle bricks. Find and stop them. Mantle bricks decoded. Nice work, operator.
The time to strike is now. Do not let me down, operator.
Decoding has begun. Defend the area.
Is about to take the first brick of the tournament. And they're going to do it.
What goes around, comes around.
Oh, I'm not going to do very much. Though. When you get barrel stuff, Skydie is getting aggressive.
See what I did there? You ain't seen nothing yet.
Let's knock them off their feet.
There we go. Much damage from there it is.
Welcome back. Delta Force Rise series here at the Americas region. Just wrapped up our first brick round on Brakkesh, and I gotta say, it was a little free for Nightmare, so they find their way to the top of the leaderboard. No question about it. Survivor Stage 1, gotta be top 2. And as we head towards Tide Prison, let's take a look at where everybody else falls on this leaderboard, Tiff. FX moved their way to second.
Oh, get me in there. A nice 12 squad points from FX off the back of some nice fragging in the first 2 rounds that we have seen. And of course, it's looking really nice for WK Forever. Those 7 kill points are looking pretty great for them. I do want to charge Team Liquid. I know you've got potential. I know you have skills. This is not how I want to see Survivor match start for y'all.
Yeah, I mean, this is bad. I think, unfortunately for them, they're a little unlucky. They've had some kind of tough engagements. They've gotten some first bloods put onto them before they're able to react. And yeah, you can blame them for it, but at the same time, that's somehow sometimes how Delta Force plays. So maybe a bit unlucky. Maybe they can turn it around in this one. You know, Tide Prison is one of those maps that's going to play very, very slow. We're going to be watching, you know, people creep and crawl around the map. But we oftentimes do see a team or maybe 2 find quite a bit of kills on the map by end of the day. So if you're able to win some of the early engagements, get some points on the board early, and then maybe get one more team wipe under your belt, you could easily see Team Liquid jump maybe even all the way up to second place at the end of this one. Now, you can see a couple different operators already eliminated from many of these teams. Kind of surprising to see FX already burn both their Alurus. That is actually very surprising. Every other team has used one. Yeah, no incendiaries for them going forward. But other than that, we're going to see probably at least one Nox per team. Here's a look at the most played operators or the most played comp, which is Shepard, Nox, Morse. You're going to probably see a Nox and a Morse per team. The third is kind of variable. We've even seen some Senivas pop out in this one, and you could easily even see double Nox, which is why our pick rates actually have 38%, which is higher than even one per team.
Yeah, it's actually a good shout. I always see minimal Senivas on the other region. So when you mention it, 100%, we do usually get a rogue one every now and then. From our last tier 1 spawns on Brakkesh, Team Liquid and LEVIATAN were the people that did have that. Not going to be able to get them here on Tide Prison, which is W, right? You don't want an airdrop T1 spawn. You want to go into Space City with a coveted tier 1 spawn. So for our other teams that could potentially get them, we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, this is, I think exactly right. You hit the nail on the head. Like, this is the spawn you don't want. It gives you maybe some small advantages in some fights, but other than that, it just prevents you from having a tier 1 spawn for a Metal Brick round. So, very important thing to remember on this map is if you don't get that tier 1 spawn, hey, that's kind of good news. Now, for those maybe just tuning in for the first time, worth mentioning, Tide Prison plays a little different. Yes, it's going to play slow, but also there is a GTI supply mission that you have to do to get that high caliber weapon. So remember that. That's how you get the high caliber weapon. Just one more airdrop. Now, as a reminder for you all at home, if you're like, man, I really think I could compete with some of these players, guess what? Now's your chance. Season 2, right around the corner. Registration opens August 10th, which is in, what, 3 days time? That's ridiculous. Get ready with your team. Could see some roster mania at the end of Season 1. For those that don't know, you have to be top 3 in the final lobby on finals day to get an automatic qualification spot into Season 2. So even some of the teams maybe competing today could see some different rosters or the same rosters competing through those open qualifiers as well. So a lot on the line, and you can join it as well. But let's move in to round number 3 here in our Survivor Stage 1.
Get me into Tide Prison. Let me see the chaos. I want to see fighting all throughout. But of course, our teams are looking to be some Nox. You do have Morse. You do have Shepard. Okay, I see FX pulling in a Luna. I'd say I'm shocked, but I'm 90% positive the one time I was on Americas in the group stages, we did see a Luna. And yes, Ayo indeed for FaZe.
Yeah, Sudoku's pulling a missile off rip. Come on, my man. I wish you could use that. It'd be helpful. You go through Tide Prison, but a great shot on the operators. Maybe more important than the $1.4 million missile that they just pulled.
Good.
But
we love missiles.
The Noxes across the board. You do see a Seniva from Hodsick. Team Liquid getting a little weird, which I like. Why is Seniva good? Well, 1, you can actually peek corners and not risk getting obliterated. 2, man, if you hit that grapple, see you later. It's a great way to just get picks and find yourself in a player advantage position.
All right, good look at the map here. You can see LEVIATAN up there in the far north. Call them Starks instead. Elsewhere, you have Team Liquid and Nightmare. Definitely looks like they're close, but you know there are so many nuances on Tide Prison that they are probably layered in that area on top of each other. But could probably hear, but not quite for FaZe. Out on the east side, W Key Forever, just kind of on that horizon, and FX roaming down towards the south.
Yeah, first engagement actually is usually down by Warden. So I'm surprised not to see 2 teams kind of bang out down on the south side. Let's do a quick vibe check here with LEVIATAN and see what they were thinking before the round.
Seconds before deployment, we're talking about our game plan and what we want to do depending on what spawn we get. We know we're the best team in this lobby and we're going to take advantage of that. Expect us to be really aggressive and boss up when we get a chance to.
Okay. I like the answer, 1. And 2, I like that it was more than 1 word. That was nice. Little insight, LEVIATAN, thinking that they're the best, so a lot to prove.
Okay, here's the deal. When they said expect aggression, think back to when Socio kind of pushed out on Zero Dam and got aggressive. Sure, it got cut down immediately, but the aggression was there.
Yeah. And we've seen LEVIATAN actually do big things even on Tide Prison rounds. I saw LEVIATAN walk out of Tide Prison with, I think it was 12 kills and a crazy amount of loot because of that. So let's see what LEVIATAN's able to do. As the players move slowly around this one, Boy does find his way to a gold bar. Nice little value add. But it doesn't do anything for you in terms of our points unless you get up to 2 million in value. That's per 2 million in stash. And we mentioned it, I think, at top of show, but it does round down. So 1.9 million gives you nothing. There's that missile shell. And 3.9 million only gives you 1. Got to get to a perfect 2 and beyond to get the next point.
Thank you for the update, Gosh. That was
No
nice.
problem.
I really enjoyed it.
Listen, it's Tide Prison. If you want to get into the nuance of roles, I'm down to yap about this because the teams are going to play really slow here unless they get intel. I mean, Morse is a great way to get some intel. Nox is a great way to find a kill on a sneaky little flank as they go silent. I think Socio Legend's going to try that here through the vents.
Wait, yo, I think he actually saw him just for a brief moment because you hear the bullets come through.
Yeah, definitely spotted. Unfortunately, you don't go invisible. Just your footsteps are quiet. And Farmer Lucas, I don't think he gets surprised very often, Tiff.
He's just like, nope. He's a man of few words, but very efficient. And you know he's relaying that information straight to Deathwing and Equal. He's like, guys, this is happening. We don't need to do anything crazy about it. But just know, there are people in the vents.
Beginnings of a horror film. Waiting for the jump scare.
Starting to feel like the back rooms over here. Actually, haven't seen that movie.
Oh, dang. We have to go see it.
Didn't see Obsessed either, so, you know, all I see is Delta Force right now.
So true. Quick look over at FaZe. They're actually rotating through the northeastern side of the map. Pushing over by cell block, and I'm going to try to get some intel around mid-map. Our GTI supply mission is actually about to open, so could see a couple of these teams go for that. That opens up on the south side by Warden, so really the only team in the area is going to be W Key Forever. There's a mission getting picked up actually by FaZe.
Sir, 'tis a flesh wound.
And I think the only other Raven's going to come out here, so they're actually going to do the Warden's missions. Now, the only other thing that I'm seeing on our map preview is that looks like FX are actually playing out by Water Extract on the south side of the map.
Sure.
So FX playing for the objective.
Love that.
Or sorry, FX playing for the extraction, FaZe playing for the objective, and everybody else maybe playing for kills. Looking for an opportunity to open up a fight.
Socio's waiting. Like, he is definitely committed to the push out here, and Lucas is not going to let him find any kind of purchase. Elsewhere, W Key Forever, finding a lower valued red, but I mean, still a red, still some nice value. And as long as it pushes you up into the next, you know, echelon of what's going to get you a squad point, great. But we're not quite there yet for W Key Forever.
Patience is a virtue, is what I always say. But in Tide Prison, let's get a little weird. Let's get a little mean. Let's throw virtues out the window.
You want a dogfight?
Yeah, I need a ballroom brawl.
Now, that's elegant.
To be fair, though, I think that probably wouldn't be the right play. You need to make the most of this map the best you can, and just full tilt sending through a doorway. You're probably going to get shot in the back by somebody crouching behind the door. So you do need to clear all angles, and teams are slowly but surely working their way through the map, clearing their corners, making sure they don't make a mistake.
Well, welcome to Fight Night. A lot of our teams still separating out. You were talking about FX early on. They have completely wrapped to the opposing side of the map through the reservoir and are starting to head up north. What their intentions are, you never know.
I think they're just kind of slow clearing the outside of the map. It does give them some intel, at least as of current, that there aren't teams out here yet, which, I mean, frankly, why would there be? But we do see sometimes teams hold the West Watchtower area, which they rotated through, or the East Watchtower area, which is where they are now. And the teams will just hold out here and wait for somebody to, like, peek out and maybe check airdrop or anything like that. And They're able to clear both sides. They know nobody else is on the south side with them, so they're just kind of hanging out for a bit now. And they may rotate in and actually play for airdrop, which means they'll be playing for where WK Forever is. So could see that engagement here in a second. But the first 8 minutes, fairly quiet.
You know what? Team Liquid's still in it. Team Liquid still in it. Boy on the screen. And I don't know why my intrusive thoughts just have me wanting to scream that out. I don't know why.
I mean, hey, honestly, this is the best map Team Liquid's had today, okay? I'm not trying to BM, but... Listen, I mean, actually, they're able to stabilize. They're actually able to play as a team. It could be a pop-off map. This is the map I expect them to pop off on. I want to see a big fight from them. They're taking it nice and patient for now, though.
All right, here we go. Looking for some people, if potentially, but nothing is going to be gathered on that current size of the util there from Morse. As you hear across the way, making our way, looting our entire way through.
Here is the airdrop on the outside of the map. Now, this will not get our high caliber weapon. It does look like mission has been picked up finally. Should be WK Forever unless I missed who picked it up. So I'll get a correction on that in just a second. But FX is rotated all around the water, like we said, and is actually here to this airdrop first. Now, again, probably not going to get much out of this. Okay, we'll take a graphics card. And yeah, other than that, it's just going to be a bunch of golds. Unfortunately, not a great rep, but we'll take what cash we can get. That was probably about $500,000, maybe 600K in total. Really doesn't do much for you, but not even a kill in value. But we'll take it.
Back to check in with a nice moment here of FaZe. Curious to see on the horizon. Of course, that is a couple of hallways down. Leviathan is, as we move on over to see what the boys are up to. Now, with 8 minutes on the timer clock for Tide Prison, you're not necessarily going to see teams looking to combat each other. Typically, it occurs in the final minute and a half, 2 minutes, if we're lucky.
Well, hey, to that point, usually Zero Dam's like 5 minutes, and it was 60 seconds. So if Tide Prison's usually, we'll give it a solid 2 minutes. This time, we're not going to see a shot fired until the final 15 seconds. Talk about a bang out. That'll be fun.
Probably right. Probably right.
I think big things to play over right now. Again, we've got our GTI supply mission currently underway. And we also see, or we can see on our side, you actually can't see it currently, but for those that are curious, that water extraction, there it is on the map. Water extraction's in about 2 minutes. Should see a team maybe go for that. Might be FX now that they've cleared the south side and actually gotten some loot. I don't know. We'll see if anybody goes for it. Could be a first engagement here, though, as taking a decent bit of damage. WK Forever is actually going to back up after some util has been thrown down by Team Liquid.
I was like, wait, are we going to see action? I don't know. Halt, hold the line. This is a good look at the map, though, where we were talking about how FX rotated down through West Watchtower area, carved their path along the reservoir on the farthest outside, and have now emerged on the east. And what they have done is just kind of formed this steadfast line covering so much space. Will they be able to take initial shots onto FaZe? Not 100% sure. We are still seeing some big items coming through from Team Liquid. You mentioned but we didn't necessarily highlight it just yet, but they're throwing down 2 engineer operators on Tide Prison.
Yeah, they wanted to play defensive, and a great job from them, actually. And this is what I missed. I thought it was WK Forever. It was actually Team Liquid that picked up the GTI supply mission. So you can see that top middle of your screen, they just completed that. And the red that popped up at 100K, that is the ammo of the M82. So a big pickup there from them. Watch out for Team Liquid, high caliber weapon. Could see it used here, or if I'm Team Liquid, I say this every week. Get the heck out of the map with that thing, wherever you need to go. Usually they send one out via water, northeast of the map. The solo extraction, you can swim down and take that one. That's where usually you would send like somebody like Mendo who's got it. There's the M82 on your screen. But sometimes you're kind of trapped. You go wrap out by yourself. You get cut down. Again, you have to clear every single credit corner if you want to make your way to any location on this map. So they may just play together and look to grab that value now, finding some kills.
Do it, do it, do it, do it. I feel like I'm in like a schoolyard fight. like, meet me after class, bro. It's happening. No, for now, Team Liquid. I just want to see Hodsick kind of grapple someone.
I love Suniva. Is that a hot take, chat? You let me know. I'll catch up with you in 10 minutes, I think is how far you are behind us, roughly. So it's a hot take that I love Suniva. I think it's so fun.
I love a good Suniva. And if you're in this lobby, you're probably a good Suniva. So
fair enough. Fair enough.
Be like, just hook them.
Yeah. Okay. Footsteps above. W key forever and FaZe maybe the first big engagement. All conjecture for now.
To be fair, we haven't approached the time to fight. The gentleman's agreement will expire in approximately a minute and a half, maybe 2.5 if we're lucky.
Does look like, as we both talked about and predicted, FX is saying, all right, listen, we got some loot. Let's get out. We don't feel like we have a position to take any of these engagements. Let's go get out of the map. Here's the problem. I was about to say, Team Liquid are thinking the same. Hey, let's just get out via the water. Oh, no, there's somebody over there. Bang, gotcha. One goes down. Our first fight. Sharks in the water looking for blood.
Yo, at first, I thought it was the shark. But then we come back to this replay, and there is a head, there's an M82, and I see utter deletion.
Great shot. We need to stick with that fight. Quick check in there with Nightmare at the top, but here's Team Liquid getting really aggressive. FX, still a duo. Their third finally goes down to yellow after they get the cleanup or at least timeout, but a trade back. UMura actually gets up a full-on Mindo. No more sniping, shared extraction, but a big engagement on the other side. We'll check back and forth between these two fights. Associate Legends finds one on W Keep forever and back into the engagement. We go on the water. 17 seconds on the clock. You can extract if you stay on red. Boy, gonna look to clean this one up and hope to not get shot in the back as the swimmer is down below. And oh no, the shark! Watch out! Don't
Shark
die.
Week, I think, was last week, y'all. They're still reeling off all of the action. When you put Chum in the water, they're going to get aggro. What is this, 1% of HP? This is disgusting.
So much going on at the same time. We'll come back to it, though, because another big engagement. Leviathan finds one, finds two. Can he line them both up? No, gets the trade. Couple go back and forth. It's going to be a close by himself. Unfortunately, Util lands perfectly. Nightmare, a duo, and they stand tall against Leviathan, who still can't catch a break on these maps as FaZe finds an angle on W Key forever. Gentleman's agreement well off, and the agreement was, hey, let's all fight at the exact same time so that the casters are put into a blender. I'm having a good time, though. We still got 2.5 minutes on the clock, and we've only got, what, 4 teams left? But W Key forever is solo.
WQ Forever's got their knock still up. You are 100% accurate. FaZe, a team of 3. FX, a team of 3. Nightmare, a duo. Team Liquid, their duo said, we're getting the heck out of here. But this is what I'm talking about. A nice reset from the boys at FX down in the middle of the reservoir. So with 2 minutes to go on the clock, how much more options do we have? You pull the M82 off the dead body and use it for yourself. You've only got maybe 2 or 3 bullets if you're lucky, because we saw Mendo shooting.
Yeah, so this is what when I said I was going to come back to something, that's what I was going to talk about, is that M82, but I'm going to come back to it again because Pecky actually finds the angle. Sudoku goes down and Snows too, pops up, knocks him down. Could he pull a 1v3 on low HP? No, good timing. Equal plays come swinging in and actually knocks Snows in the back while Diogod finally wipes W Key forever. We're holding on for dear life, but a great job to find some value on the map before you're inevitably cut down.
Nightmare on 4 total kills. FX has 1. They've returned back towards this eastern side, but haven't necessarily committed a bit further. But here's the deal. With 3 teams left on the map and FaZe now a solo, things might halt here. I don't know if everyone's going to run into each other in our last 60 or so seconds. Would be kind of wild, but there is a possibility for FX to hunt down Nightmare.
I mean, it's literally nothing else to do besides fight. There is 45 seconds on the clock. FX, unfortunately, moving way too slow. They found the M82 off Mindo because he was the only player from Team Liquid that got knocked. Super unlucky. He loses the M82 on the map while the other 2 get out. FX, they need to be sprinting into this engagement or try to get out of the map. FaZe able to find the first engagement, sneak around the corner, find equal plays, cut him down. Mr. Diogod, 1 HP in a dream, and the only player from FaZe with a dream for something in Tide Prison. He's actually able to get out of the way. Now, Tomiozo if we could quick check in up here, you can see two members of FX run together while the third, Tomiozo, is way up on the northeastern side of the map, was trying to get his way to the extraction point in the construction area via water. He's too late, too slow. That M82 is not going to leave, I don't think. Doesn't get there in time, shaking his head because he knows he made a mistake. Here's the problem with FX. Sometimes they just move a hair too slow, and this is one of those times.
It is kind of unfortunate, but that's okay for now. That is just an eco round. We're looking to boost everything that we have moving into Space City. We do have kind of that back-to-back moving forward where the brick rounds are occurring. If you kind of turned your fate around, you're feeling a bit more confident with some of the engagements you were challenging on Tide Prison, great, because you have to lay it all on the line in Space City, because if Nightmare is poised to do exactly what they did on Brakkesh with that brick, it's ending at 4.
Quickly move our way through 3, and in the third map, Nightmare find their way to being the best team as they found 4 kills, a team-wide plus some, nearly 900 damage and about $500,000 in assets, but only 2 players got out of the map, and those were Team Liquid. Finally had themselves a decent round. Team Liquid finding 2 kills, 2 players out, which means they have a decent amount of assets. FaZe Clan, they pick up 3 kills, so not a bad rep from them as well. But FX and LEVIATAN in a bit of a blender after that one. WK Forever too, only finding 1 kill, finally not having a great map from them.
Ooh, that is kind of tough for sure, but we look at our top killers and you are 100% right. We're seeing 2 members of Nightmare up in there, of course. Should look pretty similar on the top damage dealers. However, Socio does get into the top 3. Was constantly looking to open up engagements, but we'll see if LEVIATAN can continue to do that once we move towards Space City. In terms of our top assisters, it's really nice to see kind of Lucas in the mix there as well, sending down damage to help out the team rack up those kills. But I'm seeing a lot of Mr. Diogod across all of these.
Yeah, great rep from Mr. Diogod and a great call out from Mute. You spotted it. Top player, 3 individual kills from Mr. Diogod. 1.5 million on assets straight into the safe box. That was that missile shell that he found early in the game. So great job from him to be able to pick up not only some supply points potentially with some of the compensation that comes through from the kills, but also 3 kill points as an individual. Very well done. Also, as a reminder for everybody else out there, folks, you can see it down below. Drop a follow on all major socials here with Delta Force. Not only the main channels, but also the esports channels. We got esports specific broadcasts going on right now, and of course on socials. It's a great way to stay up to date on all things Delta Force Rise series. We also have a dedicated website you can go to, official website. Scroll over to the esports tab, or just scroll down here on the Twitch broadcast and click those panels to see everything you need to know about the Delta Force Rise series. We're going to take a very short break here in the booth. When we come back, it's all metal bricks all day until we are done. Round 4, right around the corner.
Tomiozo, he's gonna mantle though. A mistake. He's got to show
White home team.
The airdrop door. I do see some
damage in the entire group stage for a reason. He's got 1, he's got 2.
No, I mean, we take that all day, especially for FaZe. The jump comes in from...
Nice work, operator.
The time to strike is now. Do not let me down, operator.
Decoding has begun. Defend the area.
Is about to take the first hit to break up the tournament, and they're going to do it!
What goes around, comes around.
Not gonna do very much though. You get barrel stuff. Skydie is getting aggressive.
See what I did there? You ain't seen nothing yet.
Let's knock them off their feet.
Let's go. Much damage from there it is.
Welcome back, Delta Force Rise Series Americas, and we just wrapped up Tide Prison in our Survivor Stage 1. A chance for the top 2 teams to make it straight to Championship Sunday, straight to the finals, to be one of the 6 teams playing for the championship victory. A ton of cash on the line when we get there, but we got to get there first, and we are moving in to Space City next. We are moving into our next Mantle Brick round. And a chance for Nightmare to potentially close it out early, Tiff. I doubt it, but it is possible. Really excited to see this leaderboard, see where the teams currently land as we prepare for the next Mandelbrick round.
I'm so curious because I'm not going to lie. I took a little bit of a lap and I saw my baby. I saw my husband. I was like, bro, honestly, Nightmare might close this one out. And looking at their squad points, they're at 18. They've got 12 kills. They're looking really solid into this. But the thing is, LEVIATAN, Team Liquid, W Key Forever, they've all had pop-off moments, especially in our series. We haven't got them yet from Team Liquid, but you know that they're capable of it. FX have been like silent assassins who, sure, they've been kind of slow moving, but once they heat up, they find those dang kills. Marino was looking so good in Zero Dam. FaZe Clan, on the other hand, sure, they're quick to the brick, but we didn't see them defend it on Brakkesh, but Space City is a new ball game.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Totally different map. It'll play totally different, especially when everybody knows they have to have a mantle brick if they want to be a top 2 team right now. So let's get into Space City and see who actually goes for that brick. And I don't think, I've got to assume, we will not see a free brick this time around. You have to play for that mantle brick if you want a chance in this tournament. Now, good news for some of these teams that are maybe struggling. Team Liquid still bottom of the leaderboard. Reminder, folks, these are the teams that had pretty good group stages. They weren't good enough to skip all of this, and they weren't bad enough to where they had to play tomorrow. So everybody here that is not top 2 at the end of the day will play again tomorrow with MW and Team Nadeshot. So there is not an elimination round in any form or fashion. But to get any value out of this one, you've got to get top 2. The only other thing that people could play for is that $50 dynamic kill bonus that we've been using throughout the course of the entirety of the group stages as well. Every single kill per team will net that team $50. So a guy like Loco from Evil Geniuses, for instance, who has 60 kills, has earned that team $3,000 through that dynamic kill bonus. So a big thing to talk about. But let's talk about operators. We know that this is the most used comp. You can see it's been used 59 times. So you're going to see a Stinger, Luna, and Tempest on most teams, or some variants of Luna and Tempest and one other.
Yeah, you're not wrong at all. A ton of Tempest coming through. However, the teams that aren't guaranteed tier 1 spawns might not actually elect to bring a Tempest into this round unless they're hedging their bets that this could end early. It could be different because we do have a team coming into this in win condition. We did see FX bring a Luna into Tide Prison, so if they do here in Space City, they are going to be completely out of Lunas. We talked about the spawns. Who has the potentials for them? Fluxo and W Key Forever did burn their tier 1 spawns on Tide Prison. They're not going to be eligible for them here on the first map of Space City.
It's the only rule we've got about spawns, just to make sure that they are unpredictable and nobody can predict them. That's the same thing that I just said back and forth, but it is important. It is important. The only thing with our spawns is that you can't get tier 1s back to back. So with that in mind, FX and W Key Forever will not find their way to those red tier 1 spawns. They are technically the fastest way to the center of the map where the brick spawns. However, we've been seeing Space City play out a bit differently. Teams up in Central Command, those T2 spawns, especially that northern one. If you just put your head down and run across that bridge and don't get shot, you may be the first ones to the brick as well. And we do know that both Westgate and Employee Passage 2, which are the T1 spawns, are also a dangerous spawn because you can get shot very easily by a team up in dormitory or otherwise. So watch out. If you get T1 spawn, it doesn't mean that you are safe. It just means you have potentially the first push towards the brick. Now, folks, you know what time it is. It's time for more rewards. We've got another giveaway for you. 1,000 Delta tickets about to appear on your screen. You got to type in this code as fast as possible. It's a short one for Team In-Game or at the official website. Only 15 of you will earn these Delta tickets. Hopefully, you're one of the lucky few, and you can redeem those Delta tickets, again, in-game or at the official website if you type it in fast enough. We got a lot of people watching on a bunch of different platforms, plus all of our watch parties. Big shout out to all of our watch party creators that are tuning in for the day. They're also able to see this, so you got to be real quick, Tiff. Speaking of quick, let's see what these teams are able to do and how quickly they can go for the brick.
We saw a near flawless perfection out of Nightmare when it came to procuring their first Mandel brick. But they weren't first to the brick. It was FaZe. FaZe escorted it to the decode station where Nightmare completely took it. But hold on. You were talking about being super quick off rip, and look at FaZe immediately pulling down Widows.
Yeah, a lot going on all at the same time. We had a big engagement there. WK Forever trying to shoot Nightmare in the back at Westgate. Didn't get much from it. Westgate successfully passed through. LEVIATAN did catch a bit of flack from their T1 spawn up at Employee Passage 2. Lose one, but are able to pick them back up immediately. So no harm, no foul for the most part. But it does allow FX to sneak their way across through mid-map. I've been criticizing FX for a while about playing slow. Not this time. They're into buoyancy. Quick look at the operators, though. A Tempest on every single team besides WK Forever, who think this is going to go a bit longer than maybe we're expecting. And a couple golds to boot as well. So a team like Nightmare, they're looking to end it right here.
Honestly, yeah, they really are. And if you couldn't bring in the gold helm or the gold armor, you definitely wanted to at least grab that gold ammo to put down some serious damage. LEVIATAN does get up Widows, which is great, but still make their way towards mid-map. Now, here's the deal. We did see some craziness over on the EMEA side of things. It was essentially Alliance playing from the top, waiting for someone to pick that brick up and then laying down the pain. For now, we are just a few minutes underway, and we still have not laid claim to that brick.
Yeah, brick is open and nobody's used their Tempest ults yet. They should be coming off cooldown already, so should see this pop in just a moment. Clip's taking quite a bit of damage through the smoke, unfortunately. Actually, FaZe way up at Central Command. But a couple quick notes. Now, I don't deem to know all the strategies of all of our teams, but to see a team that is as accomplished as Nightmare have a brick, invest a Tempest, and invest some of their golds, that is a telling sign they want to close out right now in 4. That is a lot of investment on a map that they don't have to take right now to still be in top 2 even. They want to win right here, right now. Now, you might be asking, why, Coach? Well, yeah, they just want to win, and looks like equal plays from Nightmare, actually able to find the first blood. Marino gets cut down. But the other reason they could do this is that they probably feel the most threatened by a team like LEVIATAN and Team Liquid as some of their top competition, as Mindo finds an angle and actually gets traded out. A big engagement in our hands. I'll come back to that point in a minute here, Tiff, because this fight actually dictating a ton. And Nightmare technically in the driver's seat as of current, as Team Liquid getting shot from multiple angles. Farmer Lucas waiting for equal plays to ruin Team Liquid's day.
Well, Equals answered back. They grab a knock onto Hodzik. They hit the full send into yellow. It's just boy for Team Liquid, but he moves on in, finds Farmer Lucas, who gets farmed himself. Bring in Nightmare, who's in win condition, down to a solo. Not over yet, but it does force them to be in a bit of a scramble. What it does allow is FaZe to elect to use their Tempest ult and run back. And here it is, tournament life on it for Nightmare, and Equal clutches up with a massive 1v1. Now the reset comes through, but this is still allowing FaZe control of where they want to take this decode, and to the north we go towards Sands.
Wow. I had this really elaborate nuanced point queued up, and Nightmare and Team Liquid said, shut the heck up, we're getting aggressive. What an important early engagement for Nightmare to win, especially with all that investment I was talking about with Golds and Tempest. Equal plays yet again being that guy. What a clutch up moment. But you're right. It's allowed FaZe to kind of do what they want. Now, they played Central Command. They had a lot of info because they had the high ground position. They were able to peek over through mid-map. They see that it's open. They go for it. They utilize Tempest ult to get it back over at Central Command very easily. Now they're in complete control. They know they can't get shot in the back. They're playing as far back as you can go up at Central Command. Walls at their back, playing over Sands. It's going to force everybody to work their way towards them. Employee Passage probably getting peeked at right now while Leviathan tries to cross it. FX are going to be rotating around the other side of Central Command. So we see DioGod playing quite literally as far to the northern side of the map as you can. But the important place to be looking right now is where is Leviathan and how aggressive are they being? Here they come. Across Employee Passage, taking quite a bit of damage.
Goodbye, Socio. The distance on that is crazy. We just get absolutely yeeted back. All right, for now, things start to simmer a bit. We've had a minute expended on that decode. We're down to the 3-minute margin. And what this has allowed is some of our teams to make progress on their rotation up towards this side. You do still have FX lurking on the north, wrapping through that Central Command building. WK Forever, they're in dormitory. They'll be here eventually. Give them like 3 to 5 business days. Hopefully someone can swap a decode and they'll be there. Leviathan is still kind of fresh off that Tempest ult for Socio and haven't necessarily committed to head up north yet.
Our closest teams, technically FX and Central Command. Let's do a quick vibe check with Snows, who's on your screen now.
Honestly, I'm not worried about the survival stage. We are just going to take down everyone who's in front of us until we get to the finals.
Fair enough. Not worried about it, and I wouldn't be worried about it either if you get this brick for free. I don't think that'll be the case. But so far, FX is the closest team, and we know they don't get really aggressive unless they find an opening, so all quiet for now.
All quiet, while Nightmare has regained to a team of 3. So, they're kind of heating up. They haven't gone up north, but you know what they have? The power of win condition.
Yeah, and they're also, they just looted all of Team Liquid too, so they actually have a decent amount of loot on them. It's actually a big question if you go for this engagement or not. You know you can't lose right here, obviously, but you could lose a ton of investment that you've already gotten some value out of. But again, I go back to that nuanced point I was making with Team Liquid. They wanted Team Liquid out of this lobby. They want Team Liquid to have to fight another day tomorrow. And one way to secure that when you know they're at the bottom of the leaderboard is, yes, wipe them, but also just close out the match now. Them and Leviathan not in a position to get second via tiebreakers. So Nightmare want to win right here. And I think they're going to come get a piece of this action as FaZe and FX go for a big fight. 60 seconds on the clock. And it looks like FX unfortunately had to burn their Tempest ult. And they don't get a steal somehow. Surprised to not see that Tempest connect with that steal. Maybe ran out of time.
No steal, no knock, and WK Forever is now at the backs behind FX. They haven't actually isolated them just yet, but this should push the equation towards FaZe. 30 seconds on the clock, and you're 100% right. Nightmare's in there, but instead it's FX who targets them. Hello? Do you not want to prolong this engagement? No, probably not. You don't know if it's going to end or not.
You gotta go for a steal, and nobody's gonna get there in time. Who could it be? Snow's just gonna sit on the decoding station. The disarm comes through, doesn't connect. Here comes FX finally. Marino peeking the corner, not seeing somebody there, and the smoke on it. 6 seconds on the clock. A barrel stuff, a disarm, anything to save the steal. Final 2 seconds. Barrels in the bodies of their opponents. FaZe hold on for dear life, and they get the brick. FaZe in second place overall, looking to make it first by wiping the rest of this lobby, but they're down a member.
But here's the deal. It doesn't matter what happens throughout the rest of this, because if it ends in our next Space City round, we already have our top 2 teams. If FaZe or Nightmare close it out, they're the only 2 teams with bricks. We found our top 2 for finals. So someone is going to have to absolutely ice up after this and force us for more games.
Here comes Tomioso playing extremely aggressive and loses yet again to FaZe. FaZe able to wipe all of FX, who couldn't get anything going in that map. Finally, WK Forever show up, and they're actually shooting the backside of equal plays. Who gets fully eliminated. Nightmare down to a duo. FaZe, a solo. And Leviathan, full team of 3, joining this fight very, very late on the outside of this bulletproof glass. Or their counterparts, WK Forever, push from the opposite side.
Ooh, that is absolutely crazy, though. And our squad points are going to be incredibly important if we do see a tiebreaker later on. But Nightmare, it's the reset onto equal, finds a couple of kills. And still, Socio, you heard from LEVIATAN, they wanted to get aggro. They're doing just that. But for them to be as aggro and not necessarily finding a ton is crazy.
3 teams of 3 left now. All the scrap has been cleared away. Nightmare were able to pick up their res. 3v3v3. I'm not sure who has the advantage. I would argue to say that Nightmare is probably in the worst position as they're pinned down between 2 different teams. And here comes the fully aggressive push from Crab. He's going to get 1, almost 2. Finally, Deathwing able to answer back and get a full wipe actually on Crab. But Nightmare down to a solo. Equal plays. Can he clutch up yet again for his roster? As WK Forever do get the double cleanup. So DW down, Farmer Lucas full down. Equal plays last alive, and LEVIATAN, a full team of 3, the only team of 3, as WK Forever lose 1, potentially 2. No. Nice trade back there. Peaky with a great angle. Still able to keep himself on his feet.
Definitely something to be said there, but I will say with LEVIATAN immediately coming over here and trying to see what can happen, they pick the knockup onto the Tempest who reses themselves, and LEVIATAN is back up to a team of 3. So we have a trio, we have a duo, and then we still have that solo of Nightmare.
A quick look at equal plays and where he's at. He's actually on the bridge. So he's going to be able to creep over here from Central Command and actually find an angle. Perfect find. Marksman rifle in hand. See ya later. That's a full cleanup as well. So WQ Forever now down to a solo. And LEVIATAN easily in the best position to wipe the rest of this lobby. Problem is, you never know what equal plays can get away with.
It's actually true. Bro could cause some shenanigans to happen off the backs of this last Space City, and with plenty of time on the map to make it happen. That's what's been different about the Americas, is these people are getting their bricks, but they're getting them in such a quick pace that it kind of just opens up so much time for these engagements to happen throughout the map. And with the majority of our teams wiped, like FaZe, like FX, like Team Liquid, who went out first, it just makes for such an interesting dynamic when comparing it over to EMEA this morning.
Well, yeah, I mean, we've played 2 maps, Mandelbrick rounds, and we've only seen 1 steal in total. And it was Nightmare on Brakkesh at the very beginning of the timer. Other than that, I mean, nobody even stole anything in this one. FaZe just grabbed the brick, planted it, and nobody got there in time.
Fair. 2 teams in win condition once we drop into round 5. But for now, it's all about who's going to survive long enough in this map. Rack up some extra KP. Should we go the distance? Should we see a 3rd team emerge with a Mandelbrick? You're going to want to break those tiebreakers, and Nightmare already has 26 squad points. So staying alive on the map, whether you're picking up just a couple of things or even another KP, it does work.
Yeah, I'm looking at Equal Plays' gear. He has a gold helmet. I don't know. Unless he's got a crazy amount of loot on him, which I don't think he does. It's probably worth him staying on the map and going for kills. If he would have been fully decked out, like if he had gold chest piece as well, there's a chance he has one in his inventory in his bag that's needs repairs. But if he has full gold, I would probably say trying to sneak your way out of Test Workshop maybe would be the play. But without that, it's probably better served to stay on the map and go for kills when you're trying to break tiebreakers.
Good point, but yeah. I'm looking around, like FaZe and WK Forever, even LEVIATAN are so close with FX. Just being kind of tied up on 16 and 2 points behind them is FX. Team Liquid is kind of the biggest threat, like you were mentioning, but has not been able to find any momentum in our series here today. Good thing they do have 2 days to make it happen, but this is just a tough go about for them.
Seabot's the last remaining player from WK Forever, hiding out in Central Command, while Equal Plays is getting the heck out of here. So thinking that his bag is impactful enough, theoretically, to potentially extract. No, that is a bit tongue-in-cheek because he's probably going to have to go out via no bag, but still. We'll see what he decides to do.
I mean, we're just going to inch up very, very slowly. Arm strength, 100%. Crawling prone.
Oh,
come on.
Hello? Hello?
Sir.
He's prone! You see him? No, he's gonna get out! Oh my goodness! That's so unlucky. He looked like a piece of dirt. Oh, and he throws the rocket up. Just out of frustration, frankly. I mean, that's brutal for C-Bots. You hate to see it.
Oh no.
Oh,
Oh, no.
oh,
Not
God.
like this, C-Bots. Not like this.
The trumpets are playing, man. Oh, that's brutal. Hey, we've all been there. You just miss it. You just glance over, like, why would somebody be prone out there looking the other way? But that is so unfortunate. And right when he started moving, it was just a hair too late, unless you laced him with headshots. So C-Bots goes down. It is equal plays as a solo and LEVIATAN as a trio. And guess what? That solo has left the lobby. So LEVIATAN have won the map. Equal plays, protects a bit of loot that he had on him, gets out of the map, and therefore, the last 2.5 minutes is going to be a looting game for LEVIATAN, which I think they've already secured quite a bit of gold. Unfortunately for them, I don't think they're going to be able to get out with it.
Yeah, kind of unfortunate. Just time not going to be there for them, but at least we did see one run out, go Nightmare, preserve what little you can moving into that next Space City round. This one definitely played out kind of interesting, and we're just gonna frolic the map here.
Yeah, I mean, you know, thinking back to the early engagement, I mean, Team Liquid being right next to Nightmare at the very beginning, I think that was a pretty important fight, right? Like, that's the fight that dictated the way the map played. Once that fight broke out, those are the two teams closest to the brick. FaZe was just like, oh, okay. Well, they're all fighting, so... And Nightmare win it. And win it pretty quickly, too. But they've got to res both the teammates. They got to repair everything. They need to loot those bodies. So FaZe grab the brick, and they go all the way up north where they know they're alone. Everybody has to rotate to them. But everybody rotates slowly because they know they can get shot in the head from distance. And you saw Equal Plays Marksman Rifle. It hits like a dang truck. Rotate a bit too slowly, thinking somebody else is going to do something. Somebody could steal it to reset it. No, you're not going to get any of that. FX just a hair too slow. Yet again, and FaZe get a free brick.
Also true, but I mean, look, here's the deal. FaZe was the first team to jump on that brick back in Brakkesh. Guys, I'm going to do this. I'm going to be able to get these words out when it comes to bricks and Brakkesh.
But I don't think he'd be
I'm
sitting
not
back
gonna
there.
lie. I think us dropping and wrapping was fine, bro.
Mm-hmm.
It was just nobody moved from the brick. You know what I mean? What do you think, Widows? What do you think?
I mean, you're entitled to your own opinion, bro. You got it?
So what do you think? You think it's wrong or what?
I think we should have stayed employee. Like, let me bring back an old match. One time, we should have just went in. Remember when we should have went in Brack on game 7? It's the same thing. We have to do it ourselves, bro. No one else is gonna do it for us. You know what I mean? I still think it was kind of safe if we got to employee, to be honest. I think what we did was just too.
Ooh,
I like that.
hindsight 2020, a peek behind the curtain. Some nice healthy discussion as they realize that they can't extract. So we maximize our safe boxes and discuss, was it the right play or the wrong play? And we know for sure that it was the wrong play given the circumstances, but could have been right if one thing goes differently, Tiff. One steal, and are they in a better position?
And I love it. They're like, okay, but like, what's your opinion? And they talk immediately about what has been happening historically. And it's all about playing your own game. How many interviews do we do when we talk to these players? I'm like, what are you guys working on? And they're like, look, not only is it communication, but doing our own lane, making sure that we are the ones to handle that brick. We cannot count on anyone else looking for a decode, grabbing a swipe, because sometimes it just doesn't happen. It's what we saw in Brakkesh. It's what we saw in our first Space City round. And now FaZe absolutely vibing, knowing that they are one of the teams that grab a Mandel brick. And if it ends next game, there's a good chance we're locked into the finals, as they were the best team in round 4 of Space City.
Yeah, and again, I'll give the credit to this FaZe team. They've had their ups and downs through group stages. They have been playing aggressively for this objective. They know the win condition. They're going to do it themselves, put the brick in their hands, and figure out the rest later. And it's worked out this time, whereas it didn't work out the time before. Nightmare not able to be there to play spoiler because they had that early engagement against Team Liquid, and nobody else able to make the first move to really threaten them until the timer was just a bit too low. Now, as we look at our overall stats, Nightmare, not the biggest winners because they didn't get the brick, but in terms of points, absolutely. Nightmare pick up 7 kills, equal plays, 4 of those, going huge for the team to jump them continually up this leaderboard as a team with already a mantle brick. They find their way well above their opponents in FaZe in total points because of equal plays and the heroics of Nightmare.
Yeah, definitely some good shouts there, but I think that time of trying to hit a reset at the very start of the map is the sole reason why they were not there to try and jockey for that decode initially. They showed up incredibly late, but that's okay, right? There's still some more rounds to be had as we look at our top assisters. You got W Key Forever, Crab in the mix, some Nightmare as well. C-Bots kind of rounding out our top 3, but honestly, our asset earners, are we surprised? Equal does escape the map thanks to a nice little extraction over at Horizontal Test Workshop. You drop your backpack, but you still grab a nice 1.6 mil.
Yeah, great shot from Equal Plays. Great heads-up play there, too. Again, I couldn't see his inventory, so I didn't know if it was the right play or the wrong play. Frankly, getting out and saving any golds is a great play, so he will find his way to match MVP with not only the assets gained, but also the 4 kills that he was able to pick up. Now, chat, you all are way delayed behind us, okay? So I know that. I'm seeing a lot of folks flaming FX for not getting aggressive. Can I give you a counterpoint? I agree, kind of, but the counterpoint is you can say the same about every other team as well, okay? This is part of this format. You've got to play for the brick. You've got to do it yourselves. You heard LEVIATAN talking about it in the comms. Everybody's saying the same thing. We cannot rely on our opponents to do the dirty work for us. And FX were the first there who could have been able to do that, but everybody else was too late as well. So this is an everybody problem as of current. And I think some of the nerves showing, Tiff, because this is the first chance for some of these teams to say, oh no, we may not make the finals if we don't make things happen today. We're going to head to a very short break. When we come back, folks, it's going to be another Space City round. Could be our last map of the day. Don't miss it.
Some damage in the entire group stage for a reason. He's got 1, he's got 2.
No, I mean, we take that all day, especially for FaZe. The jump comes in for...
Got the mantle bricks. Find them. Stop them. Mantle bricks decoded. Nice work, operator.
The time to strike is now. Do not let me down, operator.
Decoding has begun. Defend the area.
Is about to take the first brick of the tournament, and they're going to do it!
What goes around, comes around.
Oh, I'm not going to do very much, though. You get barrel stuff. Skydie is getting aggressive.
See what I did there? You ain't seen nothing yet.
Let's knock them off their feet.
There we go. There it is.
Welcome back, Delta Force Rise Series, America's region here with the Survivor Stage 1. Just wrapped up our first Space City round, and you can see smiles on the faces of FaZe as they discuss their game plan going into the next one, because they did just pick up the brick, and it was a free brick for the most part. They did ward off the final push in the final 2 seconds, but other than that, no steals coming through in our first Space City round.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting. If you think back to the very beginning of it, we lose Team Liquid early, so they're not able to really get a move on this leaderboard. They're still down to not even double-digit squad points. 5 kills on the board for them, which is super uncharacteristic, but I feel they've been getting a little targeted in some of these fights, and some small mistakes might be happening. We'll see if they can wake up here and maybe net themselves a Mandel brick and try and get the tiebreaker on squad points. For now, it's Nightmare at the top with a brick and 26 squad points. FaZe Clan, after their brick, they're about 10 squad points behind, but moving into our next Mandel brick round on Space City. Will it look similar to what we had? You did see a couple Tempest being invested. WK Forever still has 2 available, so I'd imagine they're going to pull one in today.
Yeah, I mean, that's such a really good shout. The biggest question for me is the rest of the teams. Do you say, yeah, well, you know, nothing's granted, you got to go earn it right now, so let's all just use our Tempest and we'll figure it out if it goes round 6? Or do you say, no, this is for sure going round 6. Let me see if I can get myself a bit of an advantage in that round by being one of the few teams that held on to a Tempest to that round. And then WK Forever says, hey, we knew it wasn't over in 4. Now we get to go back-to-back 5 and 6, where not everybody will have a Tempest. And we're going to have that maybe small advantage of being able to use that emergency evasion device that Tempest has. But looking at the tier 1 spawns, it's worth reminding you that Leviathan and Nightmare did have the tier 1 spawns to kick things off. They will not be able to have those this time around. But it doesn't mean you'll get the brick first. Look where FaZe spawned. They had a T3 spawn up at Printing Room. They rotate over to Central Command, stay patient, and they're the first to the brick, first to the brick into the decoding station, and second to getting a brick.
That's true. I mean, they were just very efficient with getting to that Mandel brick. And of course, it was delayed a bit because we've been kind of conservative on whether or not we should pick up the brick right away. We did see it go pretty quickly in Brakkesh, but hey, you never know what we're going to see here in round 5.
That's exactly right. And folks, I'm seeing a lot of backseat drivers in the chat. So now it's time to prove your worth in Season 2 of the Delta Force Rise series. Go get a piece of the action. Let's really test your mettle and see how good you are. Come join us here with the Delta Force Rise series as registration opens on August 10th. Don't miss your chance to compete. You can also follow Delta Force on all major socials to stay up to date on all things Rise series. Also those esports channels as well. But open registration August 10th. That is a day after Championship Sunday. That is Monday if you're over here in the North America time zones. But let's get into the action here. Top 2 make it straight to the finals and skip our Survivor Stage 2 tomorrow. And currently only 2 teams with a brick. 2 teams that can close it out.
Well, we shall see. Nightmare and FaZe are the teams you need to be very apprised of. And over here on the side for Dormitory and Westgate, Nightmare's going to be coming from the west. In terms of FaZe, they're mid-map, very proximity heavy towards that Mandel brick. FX, you guys have been saying it's been moving a little slow. You want to see them get aggressive. Look, they're finding some nice engagements. They just haven't net themselves a brick just yet.
Yeah, and again, at least FX was close to the brick last time. Everybody else was too far away to even play for it. So
true.
Flame them all you want, but you better be flaming the whole lobby. Now, FX have decided to not go through Westgate. They actually turned around and took an engagement in Dormitory. So T1 spawn being used for an engagement rather than going for the brick first. So WK Forever, who now definitely have a Tempest. Nightmare, the only team to not use their Tempest, which means Nightmare and WK Forever will be the only 2 teams with a Tempest in the next round if we get to a next round. I like that play. They know they're going to be winning out some tiebreakers. They know they're in a position to be a top 2 team. Save it for the next round. Fair enough. But WK Forever, first to the brick, and they take it far, far away. They're going to Test Workshop.
Ooh, okay. Love to see that. That's going to be one of those interestings. Now, throughout Americas, I have seen this go towards Test Workshop, and it has been a pretty flawless hold. If that happens, and we go the distance to another Space City, look at the squad points. FaZe and WK Forever are currently tied.
Yeah. I think this map is actually going to dictate a lot. There's definitely going to be some fights down here. I think everybody was frustrated with the way the last map ran. I think we're going to see a big bang out around this engagement. The problem is WK Forever in a huge power position. This is the exact same thing that happened last map, except even faster, and this time to the south rather than the north. And again, credit to them. FX, look at them. They're going to be the first team to rotate for Brick. FX, usually a slow team. They're playing for the objective. Can at least tip the hat to that. We're Nightmare playing top dormitory. They're not worried about closing this out right now. They're not worried about who gets the brick. They know that if FaZe get the brick, they win. They know that if anybody else gets the brick, they're still in the top 2 position. Nightmare probably not going to show up to this engagement, whereas everybody else should.
They're also not playing with a Tempest this map either, so they are just chilling. They'll probably show up into the later half of this when the decode starts to get kind of spicy, but every other team has a Tempest. A lot of teams investing gold into this because this is the time to shine. If you are outside the top 2, sure, you live to see another Survivor match day tomorrow, but the goal is finals. When there's 60K for first place on Sunday, you do everything you can to get there.
Yeah, I mean, your guaranteed prize money doubles if you make it to Championship Sunday, so 10K even if you get last place on the finals day. 5K if you miss out. WK Forever still the only team around the brick. FX closest. They've actually wrapped all the way over to launch area. Playing this back angle. Going to make WK Forever think twice about getting shot from the left, front, and to the right. Now I've got to hold multiple angles with FX making this rotation. And it allows FX to not get pinched by, it looks like it's going to be LEVIATAN coming in from the north. Should see them pop up on your mini-map in just a second.
Be kind of interesting, but our teams that are in win condition, one still to the very far north of Central Command Building, that is going to be Nightmare. FaZe currently mid-map Space City. And with just at about 1 minute 30 seconds to go on this decode, if one of these teams doesn't vie for it, then we are basically cracking open a crazy amount of time for Space City for our teams to just fight each other.
Yeah, it's a weird engagement too, because I don't think FaZe show up here either. If it's Nightmare, if FaZe were like, oh, if that's Nightmare to cutting, cool, we get second. And if it's anybody else, we're still in a good position on the leaderboard. But here comes steal from FX. Marino gonna prove all the haters wrong, play for it, and get it. Tempest Ult, well invested. A nice steal.
And see, like, Nightmare is just lurking around. Here comes LEVIATAN. They have Tempest Ult as well, and looks like they're going to find some nice purchase with it as they steal the decode. And every time that decode happens and we change hands, that timer is going to decrease again until we get to 1 minute 30, and WK Forever try to take it back. Tempest Ult denied.
Tempest Ult denied. Self-res will come through. Everybody's still with a full team of 3. And now we're starting to see everybody show up. Hey, the brick's been stolen a couple times. It's not a free one? Yeah, let's go get involved. Even Nightmare going to show up late to this party. I think the only team now not interested at all is FaZe. Nightmare wrapping from Water Tank. And saw them in X-ray there just a moment ago. Still a little ways away, but they're on the way. Team Liquid, you see them now on your X-ray. Straight across. They've worked their way into Test Workshop as well. Playing the far eastern side, northeastern side, if you will, by Eastern Suspension Bridge. But right now, LEVIATAN is currently decoding, and they've got a nice little cheeky angle through the window.
Dude, FaZe have sent up full north as well.
Yeah, they're out of here.
They're like, yeah, I don't want any part of it right now. Maybe I'll show up later. Even Nightmare, they go, they take some info, and they're like, yeah, I don't know if I want to get involved in this, because when you've got 4 teams over by Horizontal Test Workshop waiting for some ults to come off cooldown, ooh, it's going to get messy here in a bit.
Ken, it's just that weird position on the leaderboard where you're like, okay, I'm already a top 2 team. I don't really care what happens here, especially if you're Nightmare because of how much points you have on the board. If I'm FaZe, I'd probably play for this, but doesn't matter what I would do. Let's see what the players do. Mendo invests his ult to go recon. Doesn't see much, unfortunately. We'll have to wait for that to be on cooldown to actually go for a steal here. LEVIATAN peeking a window, and that is the only way they're holding it. Here goes FX. They're going to smoke it. One goes out in front. They know he's inside. Eclipse Does he still have the angle? He's going to be able to shoot Marino here with a smoke, give him the full cover. FX going for the steal. LEVIATAN trying to hold it from the opposite side. FX do get the steal, and they don't even get the knock. The smokes, apparently pretty valuable. My goodness, another steal. 2.5 minutes on the clock.
FX kind of licking their wounds, all reunite on top of each other, turtled under the cover. But here's the deal. Every time we've seen it change hands, you also see another team going for it. But hello to the north we go. Nightmare has found FaZe on a northern rotation, and if they can just deal the finishing blow to Sudoka, this is done and out. FaZe have been eliminated.
Okay, well, this means Nightmare assuredly is not going to show up to this fight, in my opinion. I mean, maybe if this keeps getting stolen, they'll show up, because what else are you going to do? But they
There's
now
still 10
know,
minutes.
Yeah, I mean, actually, it's a weird question. They know that their competition, the only other team that could close it out right now, is dead and at their hands. So now do you say, okay, we don't really want a third team with the brick. Let's go play for it. Or do you say, well, my competition's out, so we're chilling? I don't know, but the rats are in and it pays off. FaZe, unfortunately, not able to clear their corners when they're walking straight out in the open, not thinking anybody would be over here. Lou Rocket does just enough damage. Boom, says Equal Plays.
That's passion.
We got a brick,
That's
though.
passion.
WK forever in control, 60 seconds.
That means we're probably reached the minimum decoding time at 1:30, which means if we're going to be changing hands, you're not really going to be able to maximize those cooldowns. You have to do whatever it takes. Crab looking for some crazy angles to be able to hold the line here now with multiple teams. The only team I haven't seen necessarily go for the exchange is Team Liquid.
Well, here they go. You can see them wrapping on your minimap right now, and they're actually going to get shot here by WK Forever. Smokes are in, but they're not covering enough. Barely holding on to his life. One player low. You see FX actually finding an angle on the backside. WK Forever at risk of being wiped, but also at risk of getting the brick. 20 seconds on the clock. Team Liquid coming in the backside. They get wiped. WK Forever, no. Still one up. Tempest alive. Peaky holding the angle on the decoding station. Can anybody get the steal? Yes, it's going to be Marino yet again. FX. A nice steal. We are at minimum timer.
Back to 1:30. Nightmare electing not to go for this. Does not want to be involved in the chaos and instead rotates back up north. Now, just LEVIATAN, FX, Team Liquid, and the solo of WK Forever going for position.
Nightmare, no. Assuredly, no questions asked. They will still be in first place at the end of this map, no matter what. So they will bide their time. The rest of these teams desperately clawing to be able to beat out FaZe in a tiebreaker. You have to have a mana brick now, assuredly, to have a chance at second place, and we are running out of maps. Uemura does find a nice angle on Peaky, and WK Forever was fully eliminated, Tempest or otherwise, gone, as Mendo gets the final cleanup there on Peaky. WK Forever will not be the team to get the brick. FX still technically in control. Mendo waiting out some util. The smoke's still landing. He's going to prone out. Tempest ult is in. No, Tempest ult is not in. Mendo trying to do it the old-fashioned way and gets punished for it. FX at risk of being wiped, though. They got to stay alive. Just the Luna up and running. Uemura says, if I can just run away, maybe nobody will go for the steal. Maybe, just maybe, we'll still get the brick. 5 seconds on the clock, but Team Liquid know it. Back to 90 seconds. Team Liquid in control.
They move in, they go for the res, and it opens the door for LEVIATAN. You can see them kind of start to lay claim, start to push a bit forward. Eclipse looking for angles if we can make it happen. But Team Liquid get the reset. They have plenty of kills. And also, dare I say, Goj, Nightmare has hit mid-map.
Yeah, I mean, if I know we keep talking about Nightmare, chat, and we haven't seen them on main hardly at all. Well, it's just because they're the team on win condition. And they're probably thinking, oh, people are playing for the brick? Let's just go in and clean up the mess. If we show up late enough, don't really care if somebody gets the brick before we get there. If they keep stealing, might as well. Nothing else to do. So we'll tune into the fight here at hand, but don't be surprised if those great Nightmare players do sneak in and do some dirty work from the backside.
Well, considering, look at our lobby. LEVIATAN and Team Liquid, a team of 3. FX down to a solo. And you've got ults in hand. We're activating. We're looking for the steals through the frags, and they are straight up pounced on.
Yeah, great play from Boy there. Oftentimes when the util comes through, if you just put a body on decoding stations, you're going to be able to hold it. 20 seconds on the clock. Here comes Equal Plays, wiping. No, not wiping, but getting a kill. Nice angle. Uemura still alive, barely breathing for FX, but this could be the nail in the coffin. This could be Team Liquid getting the mantle brick. Nightmare not worried about the brick. All they're worried about is getting kills and wiping the rest of the lobby. They're looking for those tiebreaker points. Team Liquid sneak in the backside, get a couple kills, hold the line like a pouncing leopard, jump on top of the decoding station to hold it and steal that brick away. Team Liquid were at the bottom of the leaderboard, basically nothing to write home about in the first couple rounds, and they find their way to be a top 3 team in this lobby with a mantle brick in hand.
And the difference maker is FaZe is gone. Team Liquid is up. And they just were able to grab a couple of more squad points, especially getting some kills for once. Moving with that brick. They would break the tiebreaker if it ended legitimately right now against FaZe.
That's a really good play from Team Liquid to take the most southern position. This is just going to be the most advantageous position where you can't get third-partied. Unfortunately for LEVIATAN, Nightmare showed up. So they come through the backside, and LEVIATAN's kind of pinched. Can't move out, can't rotate out. Tries to jump the brick, can't. There goes Widows running away. And Team Liquid going to pounce on this just like they pounced on his teammate just a moment ago. Widows running for the hills, running for his life. Gotta be some frustrated comms on the side of LEVIATAN right now.
Well, especially with what we had heard just in the prior match with them being last alive. They're like, we cannot count on anyone else doing this for us. We've got to pounce on it. And they do. They actually get super aggro. But Nightmare, who is just living up to their name, lurking like shadows amongst Space City this round, really kind of threw them for a loop there.
Yeah, it's funny because you and I, we're calling out Nightmare's position on the map over and over again because we have map view. But they basically were just chilling. They wipe FaZe and they're just wrapping, rotating around the entire map, trying to figure out what to do. Break exchange hands enough to where they kind of get bored and they come down and third party some fights. But a big fight on hand, 3v3, the final 2 teams at 3 on the map. 3.5 minutes is plenty of time for a 3v3 engagement. And a lot of utility landing and Equal Plays hitting the wrap of a century. If he can find a clear line of sight, one can't quite connect, and now they know he's here. Team Liquid may be trapped, but they're still all on their feet.
Interesting. DW here on the screen, now looking for a different angle. Gets poked, a bit of damage coming their way. They're covering angles because you've got DW across. You've got Equal out towards the bottom right. And one still unaccounted for. And there's Lucas. Ooh, he's close.
Waiting for the first mistake. Peek your head at the wrong time. Mendo split. Equal Plays split. But they know he's on the flank. I think smartly, Team Liquid are actually going to back out of this engagement and try to maybe play for this flanking player first. Equal Plays maybe feeling that pressure or getting the comms from Farmer Lucas. They are rotating out towards him. He actually backs off as well. Really great team play here from both of these rosters. Reminder, Nightmare does not have a Tempest. And Mendo is the Tempest for the side of Team Liquid.
Kind of interesting here. 2 minutes left on the clock. Do we see them continuously circle one another? Do we see this fight inevitably break out? It looks like Equal might actually be electing to kind of sit on that horizontal test workshop extract and wait to see.
He got out.
Oh, he leaves.
He snuck out of the map. That's hilarious. Equal
like,
Plays on the flank. They try to find him, and he takes the extraction. That is a small little victory there for Nightmare to save some of the loot value they had on the map on the back of Equal Plays. While Team Liquid say, shooting, dang it. They stole away some of our loot value. It's getting, again, it may come down to tiebreakers like it did in EMEA, so any advantage you can get your hands on is a win.
I mean, we still have potentially 2 more games to go because we can go to a 7-game series, especially if WK Forever, LEVIATAN, or FX want to grab a brick. I see a knock, though. I see a trade. Mendo and Hodzic. Can we find the rest of Nightmare? We do. We are the last 2 players left on the map. So not only does Team Liquid get themselves a Mandel brick here in round 5, we also grab a few kills to go alongside it, which are going to be so exponentially helpful when it comes to breaking the tiebreaker against FaZe. Now, here's the deal, Goj. And we can theory craft all day as we look at this replay. But after Nightmare wipe FaZe in the north, very passionately, we wrap around. We're changing hands. They're not going to know who's going to walk away with that brick. They just know that they don't really care. They have a brick. They're winning a tiebreaker. We're sending a player out each and every time, maximizing our squad points, right? But by wiping FaZe, denying them access to getting more squad points, fighting Team Liquid, who have the most kills they've had in a game all day, will now win a tiebreaker if it ends in that next game.
Yeah.
And FaZe are out.
Yeah, no, I agree. It was a big loss for FaZe, and you saw the celebration to dictate that, right? It gave us a nod towards how important of a fight that was. So FaZe down means, I think, good news, frankly, if you're Nightmare. You know that nobody's going to be that close to you. But 3 teams now with a Mandel brick, 3 teams that can close it out. It could be a coin flip for the next round. And a lot of comms flying through as we sweep through these player cams because strategies need to come out in strides. I need every ounce of the playbook that you've got. I need the last page of that playbook to land on the board here if you want to be a top 2 team today. Best team is going to be Team Liquid because they found 8 kills on that map, 1.8 million in total in assets gained through safe boxes or otherwise, 1,500 damage, and they get the brick. A banger map for the team in last place, now up into second.
Well, we knew they had the potentials for it. As you see that breakdown that culminated the 8, Mendo grabs 4, Boy 3, Hodzic 1, right? But a lot of value that has been thrown down from Hodzic. Nightmare even have a really nice game with 5 kills, equal grabbing 4. Nothing really for anyone else. 0 on FaZe, 0 on WK Forever, 0 on Leviathan. But our top killers, as you see, Nightmare and a heck of a lot of Team Liquid.
Yeah, so many fun little conversation points, stratagem points that I know these teams are talking about with who's where on the leaderboard, who we don't want to see into the finals, who we do. I don't know. There's a lot of question marks, and I'm just really pumped to get into the next map. But looking at total damage, Boy does find his way to over 700 damage. Great job from him. And Nightmare from Farmer Lucas there is able to pick up at least an assist that nets him a top spot, equal plays, putting his way to this leaderboard with 0. But 1.4 million in total from equal plays as he sneaks out through Test Workshop, no bag, without anybody else able to rat him out or find him just in the nick of time. Save some of that loot value and also take away some loot value from your opponents. I like it, and that gives him MVP as well. 1.4 mil plus the 4 kills he got and plenty of damage. Nightmare looking like they are in final form, looking like the same Nightmare we saw through group stages. Really well done from these gentlemen thus far, but now there's 3 teams with a brick, and technically speaking, Nightmare is not fully safe. They're in a great position based on our score, but not fully safe. You never know what could happen.
It's true. We could see a game like Team Liquid just had out of a team that already has a brick. It ends, you know, we see other tiebreakers come through. I don't know. Anything can happen. It is Survivor match day 1. Torches can get snuffed here.
100%. Well, folks, we're going to take a very short break, but when we come back, could it be the last map of the day, or will it be the penultimate one? You're going to have to wait and find out. We'll be right back in just a moment. Damage in the entire group stage for a reason. He's got 1, he's got 2.
No, I mean, we take that all day, especially for FaZe. The jump comes in from...
time to strike is now. Do not let me down, operator.
Decoding has begun. Defend the area.
Is about to take the first hit to bring up the tournament. And they're going to do it.
What goes around comes around.
Not gonna do very much though. You get barrel stuff. Steiny is getting aggressive.
See what I did there? You ain't seen nothing yet.
Let's knock them off their feet.
Welcome back, Delta Force Rise Series America's region, and we are almost done with Survivor Stage 1. Top 2 make it straight to finals, but we've got 3 teams with the mantle brick. Will it come down to a tiebreaker, or will it come down to who just captures this next brick? Maybe 4 teams could have the brick as we move into potentially our last map. Tiff, talk me through this leaderboard. Nightmare in the best position.
They definitely are, with those 33 squad points, 24 of them being attributed towards kills. Team Liquid getting their first real chance to actually play the game, get some nice kills. They also get a Mandel brick and now are leading in second place thanks to those 20 squad points. FaZe, who had just grabbed their brick in a game prior with only 15 squad points, are now forced into a really precarious situation. If someone ends it here in our next round with a double brick, if we do not focus on getting as many kills and as much loot as possible, we could be seeing Survivor Match Day 2 instead of the finals.
100%. We move into the last map that has operator restrictions as well. That'll dictate a lot, and you can see here those operator restrictions on main. Nightmare and WK Forever will be the only 2 teams with a Tempest. A big boon going into round 6. Other key notables: half our teams still have a Luna that they can use. We know how valuable Luna can be, especially through all the smokes that get used on Space City and around this mantle brick. Nightmare will have basically a normal comp, whereas others will not. They're going to be using a Luna and a Tempest assuredly. Nightmare will. But other than that, it's going to be a mixed bag of whatever operators are left. Maybe an Alluru still left here and there, probably being used. I'm excited to see what everybody decides to utilize in this potentially last round as we take a look at spawns.
And yeah, as you looked at the predictions, it was Fluxo and FaZe with tier 1s on the last map. Tier 3 goes the way of Nightmare. And you look at who has the potentials for getting those tier 1s. It's Team Liquid, Nightmare, Leviathan, and WKF. Nightmare did not bring in a Tempest in their last round of play. I'd imagine they're going to use their last slot of Tempest here on our next Space City. But as we pull that into it, goes, do we end here? Do we end here?
I think we do. I think you can't wager that somebody else is going to do the work for you. I don't think you can wager of like who's going for the brick and who isn't. If you put 4 teams on brick and you risk that, and some of these teams wipe the lobby and get a crazy amount of loot, you could even see a team like Nightmare get knocked out of their high horse. I think they're going to clutch up, and I think they're going to go for a win here. Nightmare in the best position to do it with the Tempest and with the brick already. WK Forever in the best position to be a team that has a Tempest and could take us to 4 teams with a brick and take us to map 7.
Well, let's see. We had a game 7 earlier for EMEA, but our spawns come through, and WK Forever is trying to move through Westgate. FX, who y'all kept saying was moving slow, we're sprinting.
Yeah, playing Dormitory there, you got to try to catch them, and honestly, they weren't able to pick up enough utility damage to really make this a threat. Marino noticing that. They're all the way through, no question. So, unfortunately, just slightly error there, but we'll follow them. We'll get a piece of the action as well. Mantle brick will be available to be grabbed here in the next, well, now. With that, let's see if anybody goes for it immediately. No, not risking going for it without Tempest Ult. Should be off cooldown about now. Quick look at gear. It looks like Leviathan still have gold to use, which is nice. You see somebody missing gear on this screen, it's because their teammates are going to be dropping it for them, most likely. So don't be scared if Mendo's rolling in without a vest.
I'm scared. Mendo, please. Wear the vest. Well, purple's here for W key forever. No worries, though, as we have not had to worry about grabbing the Mandel brick just yet. For those that have brought in Tempests, once those cooldowns start to come through and ults pop up, we could see someone elect to grab the brick. Instead, we have a potential battle of the North with Nightmare and FaZe yet again. If you guys remember, Nightmare did beat FaZe in the North on our last map. Will we see an early fight breakout? I don't know, guys. It's a weird one in Survivor Match Day 1.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of pretty interesting discourse, actually, in the chat about win cons, why people do this, why people do that. Yeah, we're doing the hypotheticals as well. I do want to give you some like raw facts on the win conditions. Currently, as it stands, if FaZe or Team Liquid get a Mandel brick and end it right here, Socio Legend actually finds an angle on FX, taking down Tomiozo. If the scores stay the same, Nightmare also make it to the finals. That's why Nightmare are not playing hyper aggressive. They're in the best position by far. So you can see where this knock did land. Team Liquid and FaZe need to clutch up this brick to assure that it doesn't go to tiebreaker, because they could lose. Now, if a team that doesn't have a brick captured it, well, now we're in trouble with 4 teams positionally able to win a tiebreaker or go for the brick in the next map. Then you're a team like Nightmare, and unless you have a gigantic score lead still, you'd be in trouble. But this late in the game, if you win a map, you get a crazy amount of loot value, you find your way to the top of the leaderboard. Nothing is assured. Nice steal there for WKF.
And we get pulled on back thanks to our Tempest ult. Question is, where are we going? We've seen the decoding station up towards the right of Central Command Building. We've also seen people go to the outskirts of Horizontal Test Workshop. That's where W Key Forever took it just in our prior map. But we are going back to Old Reliable.
Yeah, Old Faithful. I mean, they had control of Centrifuge for the most part. Now, we do see that Team Liquid is below them. So there'll be a fight in the stairs here in a second. But they came from Centrifuge area, and so they returned to it. This is pretty classic. This is probably, I don't know, let's put it at 60% of the games we play on Space City. This is the decoding station, maybe a bit higher than that.
Yeah, I'll put it a bit higher. Not too much, but maybe 70, 72%.
Okay.
That's a fun number.
Yeah, I mean, this is usually where you're able to go for brick quite easily, and just Centrifuge, once you gain control of it, it's just super easy because you can just ult right back to it. But a lot of voice lines happening right now as we take a look at the map. And W Key Forever in the best position, now holding the brick. Team Liquid will creep up these stairs here shortly. FX playing the low side on Buoyancy. And Leviathan are going to come get control probably of mid-map in a second and work their way over their shipping containers to be able to play for this. Like I said before, Nightmare is not worried about this because they know 2 other teams could get the brick, win, and they still get second. However, if WK Forever get this brick, it's a little bit different story.
I just don't feel comfy leaving it to that chance because we saw how big of a game Team Liquid had in our prior match, but hey, you never know. We'll seize the brick accordingly, and FX looking to get aggro does not have a Tempest. You see Marino get caught out and Finned right there. So WK Forever now stacking the numbers back into their favor.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think Marino made a small mistake there going for some healing while walking out in the open, but gets cut down and punished for it. He did get the steal, which is nice. Leviathan, D-Wolf, Exoskeleton popped. He is running as fast as he can to get over here while Team Liquid takes a ton of utility down below. So they're not going to push up these stairs yet. Leviathan get the steal and they back way off. This is pretty classic. Usually you do this at a Tempest. It's kind of funny just to see somebody hoof it, but it works out.
Interesting. I do love to see that. We've got the Alluru for the defense as well. So as you see them set up.
Kind of interesting play. I think Leviathan's worried actually about getting shot in the back and giving up this kind of eastern side. They're not in control. I mean, they're control of the decoding station technically, but they're not really doing anything to cover it right now. They're kind of relying on the chaos to stall this timer. Here comes WK Forever. Again, the only other team with a Tempest aside from Nightmare.
We did see it change hands quite a bit on our prior map, and it's starting to do so already. 2 minutes, 30 seconds on the clock. And we are back in it, baby. W Key Forever could really shake some things up with just at the squad points. They have 18 of them. FaZe at 16 and Team Liquid at 21 as it currently runs. I will say that Nightmare has rotated out of the north and FaZe has dropped down a bit to the east.
Yeah, take a look at your minimap. You see, we saw very briefly that gray 2. They're actually going to work their way up a ramp here in just a second. So watch out for Nightmare. Again, with a Tempest, makes sense that they're showing up a little bit late in this one. Going to be going for some steals as well. This fight has been going on for a while. W Key Forever started it. Team Liquid been playing low side since the beginning of the game. The stairs battle is one that will take a lifetime to resolve unless somebody just goes for broke or makes the first mistake.
Very interesting. Plus, you don't, even if that ult comes off cooldown, you don't really want to use it on the stairway. That is for solely the Mandel brick at that point in time. And a minute 20 on the clock for W Key Forever, biding their time. That decode will go to 2 minutes once it changes hands, if it changes hands.
Team Liquid in full gold, basically. When we saw as we quick swapped over, so expensive gear drop for teammates. 60 seconds. Recam shows us that Leviatan's getting back into the action again. Throwing some triple blasters over the top denotes that nobody's actually playing ramp, and I think they're trying to land it in the doorway of Centrifuge to make sure they don't get shot. Bunch of utility's going to land nearly square on his forehead, but maybe not as direct as they would have liked. Gets out of there. Exoskeleton going crazy, and Widow's covering fire actually connects for a full kill.
That is so unfortunate there for W Key Forever. Nightmare looks to find some information via the Tempest ult, yeets back with equal, and slowly starts to creep on up. FaZe, who have worked their way around, are likely gonna rotate in behind. Now, mind you, they need kills. They need squad points.
100%. I like that play from Equal. Burns the Tempest ult pretty early to get that intel, knowing they can now take ramp. He also should get this. Oh, it's actually gonna be pretty close, but he should get it back right in the nick of time based on timer. But he actually clears, looks through, and goes, okay, everybody else is waiting on their cooldown. I'm just gonna walk up and take it. I don't need to wait on cooldown when W Key Forever is down a player. So Nightmare now in control. Nightmare on win condition. Nightmare now on minimum timer as well. Mail brick, 90 seconds. Not gonna get any lower than that. Every steal goes to 90 seconds. And if I'm FaZe, I gotta get a move. You cannot rely on somebody else to do the dirty work when you're technically in third place.
And that would be one of the biggest heartbreaks. Now, mind you, if you lose out here today and you're not inside the top 2, you are relegated to Survivor Match Day 2 tomorrow. You still have another chance. But would you question the fact that you are so close to locking in your top 2 right now?
Yeah, if you have a mantle brick, you got to play for the brick. Simple mathematics, folks. Technically could see second exchange hands after a brick is taken for whoever gets first. The map is still important to be played. Equal plays, warning shots for Leviathan. Yeah, don't peek again. You don't have a lot of Tempest on this map, so they know they don't have to technically just sit on the decoding station to prevent those steals. 25 seconds and counting. A lot of util landing. Equal plays desperately putting out these flames so that I can hear myself think. There it is. Here comes Team Liquid from down below. They come charging the stairs. W Key Forever is back as a full team of 3 as well. So a big fight inside Centrifuge. We're on the outside. Leviathan gonna have to get aggressive. So out in the open we go. Equal plays goes down. I think popped ult. Lucas on the point. Takes a ton of util. 2 seconds on the clock. Can anybody get it? Nightmare.
Wait. It's stolen. Leviathan, in the nick of time, have uncovered themselves a Mandel brick decode.
The kill feed looking like a newspaper, reading like one as well, a coloring book even, everybody getting kills. Leviathan, they might have gotten the steal, but unfortunately they get wiped. Timer paused. FaZe is showing up to the party. Who's even left on the board? W Key Forever lost their engagement inside. Team Liquid a duo. FaZe, a full team of 3, now in control of ramp. Could FaZe clutch up and win here?
They need to. They need to. I said they were worried about squad points. that if Team Liquid is resetting, we get the res on Amendo, we're back to a team of 3. The only 2 teams of 3 on the board are FaZe and Team Liquid. And as we inch closer, throw down a smoke. FaZe on the decode.
Crazy series of events. And usually sticking on right on a decoding station could stop the steal, but unfortunately not this time. Too much util lands square on your forehead. And as you go down, steal comes through. Milliseconds left. White literally sneaks that one in, and LEVIATAN does it for the lobby, praying that FX will be the team that ends up with the brick because of their heroics so they can at least keep playing, but it's not looking like that's going to be the case.
I think that's the crazy part of it, right? There is like a 99% chance that it ends here.
FX still have 2. It's still possible, but unlikely. Team Liquid is a full team of 3 in a pretty strong position, but only 30 seconds on the clock. FaZe, full team of 3 in control of ramp. Here comes the peak. Centrifuge. Team Liquid have control of this building, but they got to get outside. They've got to go for the brick, and boy, gonna be out in the open. Do they know Dio God's here? Yes, they do. Absolutely snipped out and put down. Boy, with a big play, but here comes FX. Are they playing spoiler? Are they ruining their own lobby by wiping Team Liquid? Team Liquid not able to go for the steal. FaZe gonna get this brick. It's because of FX. They're trying to make a big play, but they might be hurting themselves. Down goes Team Liquid 2. Hotsick. Last alive. Mendo's gonna jump in. He goes in, but no, it's too late. The Allure rocket from FaZe. FaZe clutch up when they need it most. FX ruined the lobby and FaZe reaped the rewards. 2 bricks to their name. FaZe going to the finals.
I am flabbergasted at the course of events that have occurred over the last 40 seconds, Gauche. And FaZe, you know they are celebrating.
Unreal. Sometimes it pays to be late. They roll in last. Take a look back on this replay. Mendo, look how close he was. Triple blasters come flying through. I mean, he needed, what, 0.6 seconds, I think it said, left to go for that steal. Could not quite get there. FaZe are able to clutch up. And the Allure rocket is actually what that was towards the end there. Comes in, splits, and takes him down. Wow, what a moment for FaZe.
That actually hurts seeing the replay, run it back, and Mendo just being stuck there with time ticking and not able to withstand. And the coordinated pushes that happen after with FX trying to be that 2% difference that gives us the next Game 7 series of our day. But what a joy. Here comes Deathwing, though. Oh, hey, guys. Oh, hey, friends.
Yeah.
Bye.
He goes down. That's actually... he doesn't know that it doesn't matter. Could have actually been a pretty bad death there. If Team Liquid was still somehow on the map, there was technically still a tiebreaker between Nightmare and Team Liquid, but we all know, audience, casters, and now players, as they watch it back on their delay and hear our voices, that they have made it. Let's listen in.
Campeão saiu. Não é só jogão. Tá vindo lá, ó, os
Vamos, pô! Vamos, let's go! Bye, bye! Bye, bye, guys!
Vamos! Well done, FaZe. They're going to give us a salute as they wrap this lobby and get out via the Champions Extract.
And the celebrations, all knowing that with that ticket to finals comes a minimum of $10,000 that you can play for and a $60K first place prize on that Sunday finals. And you don't have to run the gauntlet of Survivor Batch Day 2.
Man, how rich, how sweet is it that we've been saying all day today, take the game into your own hands, do it yourself. And FX, they go to do it themselves. And the timing
of them trying to take the brick at the exact same time as Team Liquid in the final couple seconds means that neither of them are able to get the brick, and it gives FaZe the win. And not only does it give the FaZe the win, but it ensures that both of those two teams lose. The irony. That's the way this format plays. Team Liquid may have a brick, but they did not get top 2, and they're going to have to play again tomorrow.
That is really tough. Couple of games that we couldn't kind of get their footing. They finally get the brick. They find a ton of kills. You think for a moment that Team Liquid's going to walk away with it. But FaZe show up at the very last moment to clinch their ticket to finals.
Wow. Fun one to watch. And it looks like one member of FaZe, Mr. DioGod, he got a little angsty. He wanted to get out of here. The other two, though, a little bit of BM, showing some love to the org by putting the bullets in the wall, giving us the big F for FaZe, putting some sprays up. But they'll take their champion's extraction and get out of Dodge as they have won the map. And the fires denote the champions. FaZe, congratulations. A big win. Take the game into your own hands. Pick up 2 bricks and walk your way to Championship Sunday. Big celebration there, and even representation of where they've come from, what regions they represent. The Americas region represents a ton of different countries, and players from all over this region worked their way to this stage, but FaZe made their way to finals.
Look, I think that's why Mr. DioGod took the early extract, because he wasn't wearing the scarf or the sunglasses. Now he is. He literally probably ran off, got those, and was like, let's celebrate, baby. Let's celebrate FaZe.
I love it. 6.6 mil in total as they take the champion's extraction. 4 kills throughout the course of that map. Came at the right time. 700 plus damage after they put down a ton of fire against their opponents. And they're finding their way to be the best team as they pick up their second brick. Team Liquid actually had a pretty good game going. They wiped WK Forever and Centrifuge. They're in position to go for the brick. But FX peek out and they fight at the exact same time. When they both needed to go for the steal, they stop each other. Wild stuff there. Hodsick put up 3. Usually the assist guy finds his way to being the top fragger for the team. DW's Nightmare finds his way to top damage dealer in the lobby at over 500. Nice play from him. Really fun engagements there. Man, the heart rates must have been pumping towards the very end of that one. Team Liquid's Boy, the most assists. But unfortunately, Team Liquid, albeit their stats look pretty good in the last couple of maps, they will not be going to finals. Not yet. Got to play again tomorrow.
But on the low, at least Team Liquid know they have what it takes to get inside the top 2. They do have another day to do it tomorrow, but of course, the top asset earners will all be FaZe, thanks to that a nice little all extraction they got towards the end. But Mr. DioGod there being our final round 6 MVP. Congratulations, FaZe, yet again.
Wow, what a day. Survivor Stage 1. But of course, we got to talk to the victors. We've got FaZe joining us in the booth. I believe it's El Snows. Let's bring him in. Let's see what it is. No,
Hello,
Mr. Is it Snows? Is it DioGod?
No, DioGod. They got this is El Snows. There we go.
There it is. Snows, congratulations, man. How does it feel to make finals? You did it.
Yeah, how do I tell to you? It was amazing. We love to play this game. I can't explain how it's going to be there, you know. It's a lot of feelings, but how I say on the interview early, we are not afraid to be on this survivor stage. We know we're gonna win this. We're gonna go to the finals. We have to beat AG one more time. They are our rivals, so we need to be there. Our fans deserve that.
I love that so much. Congratulations. Now that you guys are locked in for the finals, what are you going to do tomorrow? Like, are we VOD reviewing? Are we watching Survivor Match Day 2? What's the prep look like for that finals lobby?
We are going to do the same thing we are doing. we're gonna practice, we're gonna have some screens, but also we're gonna take some time and watch some VODs and take a look on the last 2 teams who are gonna be there fighting against us.
Listen, I know you were confident you were going to win, and congratulations again on that. My question is, what was the strategy going into today? It was obvious you prioritized playing for the mantle brick, which credit to you on that. Was there any big strategy point you wanted to focus on today?
Not a big one. We are the team who always playing for the Mando. We don't play for just to have points and pass with the 1 Mando. We like to win with 2 Mando bricks. We are always be aggressive, trying to take some kills. Today we didn't get so much kills, but we got 2 Mandos, and that's the important thing. So yeah, let's go. We win. What I can say to you.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, my last question for you is, was there a moment on that Space City round where you knew you were like, this is it? This is where we can take the win?
Oh, that is when Diogod, the mister, gets the mana brick and he says, I need you there. I need you here because you are the Uluru. You're gonna hand this brick. No one gonna available to catch that. So that's it. We love to play Uluru. I love to play this character. I love to play this person. So I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Last question I have for you. Last question is, what did you say? What were the comms like? What were you all yelling when the Allura rocket landed, prevented the steal, and you won? What was the first things out of your mouth?
I don't remember. I'm not gonna lie. I don't remember. I just heard Diogod screaming a lot. Yeah, Diogod was screaming a lot because he wants to play against SSG and EG again. He wants to demolish Killzao because Killzao was saying he wants us there to help him with the EG because we know he's afraid to play against local, and we are not. And we will be there to just eliminate SSG.
I know you've got 2 teams you desperately want to fight. Of course, you're also going to have Nightmare joining you as well. 4 teams there, 2 more. Snows, congrats again. I want to give you the floor. Any final words? Anybody else you want to call out? Any haters or any words you want to say to FaZe or the fans? The floor is yours.
I don't have any haters. I still want to fight equal. Did you guys remember when I say that? I have something to do with him, but it's not my rival. I don't have haters. And to the FaZe Clan, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for supporting us. And never forget, FaZe up and let's go, guys.
FaZe up. That's Snows from FaZe. Congrats, my friend. A big win. You will find them in the finals. Minimum they walk away with is $10,000, even if they get last, which assuredly Snows knows is not going to be the case. Congrats. We'll see you later.
Yeah, thank you.
Cheers. All right. Tiff, what a great interview. Okay.
Hey, we're vibing. We're vibing.
Confidence wins you matches. I'm telling you. Great confidence there from FaZe. And we can see, yes, assuredly, Nightmare will be joining them.
And the best part about that interview is where they talk about it. They're like, well, look, we're not playing for squad points. We want the 2 bricks. And they do just that. You are 100% correct there. Nightmare with 1 Mandel brick and 35 squad points are going to walk away inside that top 2. Team Liquid, unfortunate that they took an Allura rocket to the face in the last seconds. We'll be playing tomorrow in Survivor Match Day 2 alongside W Key Forever, Leviathan, and Fluxo W7M.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Team Liquid, W Key Forever, Leviathan, FX all had a chance today, but unfortunately didn't make the cut. So yes, Team Nadeshot and MW will be joining these bottom 4 teams in our final lobby, the final chance to make it to finals. But before we wrap up today, we gotta bring up another quick interview because, well, let's actually...
Okay.
Every time, I swear, this dude right here, Equal Plays, is different, man. Match MVP. They may not have won today, but Equal Plays has done it again. He gets away with murder. He takes away everything. Every stat line, MVP. He takes it all. Equal Plays. He's on a hot streak right now. 15 kills, 3,000 damage, nearly 12 million assets, and a couple assists. Great job from Nightmare and Equal Plays. But I'm excited. I think we're going to have a chance to talk to Nightmare here in a second, Tiff. It'll be really fun to listen in to another team who's made it to finals. Quickly, though, I do have some information for the people at home. Guess what? We got another giveaway on our hands. We got 3,000 Delta tickets we're trying to give away right now. How you enter this one, a little different. Type in !giveaway. Some of you have already done it if you're in the official channels. And if you're watching on X, you can actually repost the live stream to enter the giveaway there. We will reward or say who gets the winners, the rewards rather. You're the winner if you're in the chat. So pay attention. We're going to put those winners into the chat. You'll see it pop up in all the official live streams. And if you're watching on X, of course, that'll be down in the comments below that a live stream on X. So get your entry in, !giveaway. Sneak peek, you only have to do it once, but hey, I know some of you are going to type it like 10 times. We got to get you your Delta tickets. I want them too. I may enter as well. But yeah, Tiff, excited to talk to Nightmare and Farmer Lucas again after a couple of their match wins, as they did get second place. And seeding doesn't matter going into the finals. So let's bring him in. Let's talk to him. Farmer Lucas joining us from Nightmare. I'm going to pull him in. There he is. Dude, congrats. You're back. I feel like I've talked to you like a couple times now. I guess every week. How's it feel?
It feels good. It's getting in the regular. I'm tuning into these interviews. Happy to be here.
You're going to be an analyst soon. You ever give up? You're coming in. You're joining us.
Yeah.
I might be. Maybe tomorrow.
Yeah, dude. Listen, it would be a lot of fun, man. You've got a very analytical brain. Every time we talk to you, you've got a lot of logic behind a lot of your answers. So I'm actually going to ask you a pretty intense question to kick things off. Take me all the way back to map 4, going into Space City. This isn't something we always see, but you all decided to invest some gold. You invest a Tempest as well. Game plan there, was it try to shut the door on some of the teams that were at the bottom of the leaderboard that were big threats? What was the decision-making process?
Going into that game, we had just come off prison where we got a tier 3 spawn. So our chances were tier 1 and tier 2 for Space City. And because we had the opportunity to have priority to the brick, we choose to invest our gold in our Tempest. And while a big investment, that composition of operators gives us the best chance at getting that brick. So we chose to invest in game 4 and shut the door right there, which didn't happen, but that's okay. We put points on the board because we got the luxury of getting the first brick and we're able to just go for points that game.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, you guys had a ton of squad points. It was looking pretty inevitable that you were going to lock in a top 2. And off the back of Goj, because I was really wondering the same thing. Games 5, right? We are side questing throughout the map. We find FaZe in the north, and I'm like, okay, at this point, we're changing hands over outside of Test Workshop. There's a good chance Nightmare could also end it here. They're fighting pretty dang good throughout the entirety of the map. What are you guys thinking at that point?
So on that game, we were dorm spawn, and Westgate decided instead of going in through Westgate, they came to try and fight us. So that stalled our rotate out of dorms for a long time. So we just kind of took our time, moseyed through Command Center over towards Employee 2 and get into Assembly eventually. And we were looking across the bridge. We saw Team Liquid down on the left side on the small bridge, and we saw another group. We weren't sure who on top bridge. And as we're about to cross, we hear a sniper scav, which I think was on top of Command Center. And FaZe, that was basically like an alarm. We heard it get shot behind us, and we're like, wait a minute, someone's coming behind us. And at this time, we have no idea it's FaZe, but we're like, if we go across this bridge, we're just going to get shot in our back. So let's sit here and wait for them to come, and that's what we did. So we waited on FaZe. We kill them. We know that's good for us because we gain points. They don't gain points. The brick kept changing hands. It gave us the ability to rotate all the way back to the center of the map and try and be involved in the brick if it had, you know, unfolded that way, which it did. So the game plan there was just get more points again. No need to rush anything. And so Team Liquid gets the brick and we get points.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, yeah, you guys didn't have a Tempest there either. So of course it's not like you were going to have those ults. You saved it for... Yeah, got you. Goj, you're ready. You're ready.
Yeah, listen, I love these types of questions. You're giving us a lot of insight. I was going to ask something totally different. I think this is actually more pertinent because chat is always wondering the same question. Ooh. How are you usually able to tell which teams are ahead of you? I know if you're able to get a knock and look at bodies and all that, but you said, hey, we spotted Team Liquid. Like, talk us through it don't give away all your strategies or anything, but for those that don't compete, how are you able to tell which teams are which, especially in this format where it actually does matter a lot who's who?
So there's an optic in the game that it's referred to by a lot of people as the cheater scope. It's like the beige color optic. I don't know the actual name of it. We just all refer to it as a cheater scope. And there's a rangefinder ability on the cheater scope. So you bind your rangefinder to a button that you click the button, and as you're looking through the scope, it reveals the player's name above their head.
You're welcome, chat.
Boom. Chat, are you locked in? Okay, I know some of you know that, and you're probably signing up for season 2 of the Rise series. Lucas, man, thank you for all the insight. This is a lot of fun, and congrats again on making it to the finals. I mean, even if you get last in the finals, which I don't think you will, but even if you do, you're still walking away with 10K. So a big achievement. Want to give you the floor. Anything you want to say to your teammates, org, anything like that, floor is yours.
Hey, I might sound like a broken record at this point, but yet again, I just want to give a huge shout out to my teammates. They played phenomenally today. The NTMR fan base, the NTMR, my parents, everybody, my friends. Thank you guys for your support. Thank you for being here, and come root for us on Sunday.
Boom. Okay, I'm sneaking another one in. Who is the team you want to take down the most in finals? Last words from you.
We would love to best SSG in finals.
Bang. All right. SSG, the team that they want to take down. Farmer Lucas from Nightmare. Congrats, my friend. Go celebrate. And we'll see you on Sunday.
Thank you for.
Cheers.
Heck yeah.
Sorry, Tiff. I was sneaking questions left, right, and center.
I loved it. I was vibing.
I love interviews with Lucas. It's a lot of insight around the technical part of this game that many people overlook. So fun combos there. But Tiff, we've got 4 out of 6 of our teams in finals. Only 2 more spots.
And a ton of people gunning for Evil Geniuses and SSG in particular. So that's some heavy fighting words. We know that they are going to give it all for 60K. But of course, tomorrow in that Survivor stage, match day 2, we're looking for our final 2 teams. Now, the cool caveat on this, if you make it into that finals lobby tomorrow, the top 3 teams of the finals are auto guaranteeing themselves to proceed to season 2 of the Delta Force Rise series.
That's a very important point. You don't want to have to go through the open qualifiers again or otherwise. Quick look at our overall rankings, though, going into the final match before finals. Loco hasn't played in a little while, but still top fragger overall, but equal plays heroics today put him all the way up into 2nd overall and has picked up $3,000 in just the kill, that bounty that we talk about, the kill bounty, $50 per kill for his team. So a great job there from Equal Plays and Nightmare to not only earn some extra cash, but also earn a spot in the finals. And we see that Equal Plays has also jumped up to 2nd place overall, still in damage behind Loco, with kills all still in 3rd.
Ooh, those are some big names there. And I'd imagine this fight is going to go down towards the finals to see who will be at the top for top damage. Now, I'm just sitting here thinking, Goj, as we look through our top asset gainers, of course, it's going to be so incredibly close because these boys are some of the heaviest fraggers we've got in the game, putting up some massive numbers, being so vital to their teams, and everyone is staring them down. The crazy part about this is Equal technically has a full game day on Killzall and Loco.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty wild what SSG and Evil Geniuses were able to do throughout the group stages. It's the reason they're waiting in the finals. Folks, take a look at our schedule, all of our former winners, and of course our winner today, FaZe Clan, pick up a big win in Survivor Stage 1. So we turn our eyes to tomorrow, same time, same place, the final chance to make the finals. Same win condition. Basically the same thing we did today, except the stakes are even higher. Because if you don't get top 2, you are eliminated out of the Delta Force Rise Series Season 1 and no more chances. This is it. Back against the wall. If you thought today was strategic, slow pace, cruddy corners, sneaking around corners, checking every angle, get ready for tomorrow, Tiff. It's going to be a ton of fun. What a day, Tiff. I want to give you the floor. It was great casting with you again. I feel like it's been a while, and we had a ton of fun together. At least I did. Any final words for the broadcast?
Honestly, I'm just so excited to see what's going to happen on Survivor Match Day 2. I hope you guys were locked in because there's 2 teams that will be joining us that didn't have the chance to play today, that have one final chance to lock in their tickets to finals. They had to be taking notes because lobbies have been shifty. They're playing out incredibly different, and everyone is vying for a chance to take home the minimum of 10K in that finals lobby and play for a 60K first place. So lay it on the line.
There you go. Lay it all out on the line. Spider Tiff, the GOAT, here in the booth with me. And folks at home, as a reminder, we couldn't do it without you, the viewer. Thanks for tuning in. Same time, same place. Tomorrow, you're not going to want to miss it. 2 more teams make it into the finals. The last chance for our rosters to play for 60 grand at the top. Holy cow. Sunday's going to be a ton of fun. We'll see you tomorrow.
With Tapioza, he's gonna mantle though. A mistake. He's gonna be so
Why not wipe home team?
The airdrop door. We do see some
damage in the entire group stage for a reason. He's got one, he's got two.
No, I mean, we take that all day, especially for FaZe. The jump comes in for...